Here, Vance Palm, Kyle Wiley, Kevin Willie. This is the semifinals here, the only game in town on KernHighNetwork.com because it's the only game in Kern County. The Kern High School District so pleased to bring you semifinal playoff football here November in 2017. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving yesterday and last night. I'm still recuperating. Kyle, what a game. You've got the Shafter Generals 9-2. 5-1, welcoming in the Firebaugh Eagles, 9-2, 5-0, a 2 versus 3 seed. This is a big, big football game here at Shafter. First of all, congratulations on getting this all set up in a festive atmosphere. Your thoughts on this big football game?
Yeah, we have to give a shout out to Jim Critchlow to allow us to have a game like this tonight and all that stuff. Very excited about this game. We got two different teams that are coming out here. Talked with Coach Perucci, and he's very excited. His spread attack with Alex Aguilar, who, in my estimation, I'll say this on there, is the premier quarterback in Kern County. This is the third time that we've now seen him. He's a true dual threat in every sense of the word. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball. But Firebaugh comes, and talking with Coach Perucci and looking at the film a little bit too as well, they run kind of old school 5-2 Buddy Ryan defense from the Chicago Bears of the 80s and all that stuff, and it's just a different vibe, different set that Shafter's used to. But nonetheless, they have three guys on their team that have video game like numbers, and we're going to be talking about them all night with their quarterback, receiver, and running back. So
had a chance to speak with Coach Perucci before I came up here. Obviously covered him in his state championship run over Bakersfield Christian High School. Spent a lot of years there. Had a chance to say hi to him. And, boy, he's got a gleam in his eye to be back at Shafter High School, and now been in the saddle here for a while. And it hasn't taken him all that long to get to this point.
You know, it's very excited. That glitter in his eye could start with something as simple as beating Wasco. They haven't beat him in 10 years, and that's a big deal for this community. As you've called the number of Shafter-Wasco games, how much that game means to him. And so you start with that, and now the next step is winning some playoff games and hopefully getting that Valley Championship. He's tasted it. These players haven't, so there's that trust factor. And when you have that on your resume as a coach, players buy in a little bit more. So very exciting. When you got a guy like Alex Aguilar, I'll say it again, definitely helps the cause out.
What do you like about Aguilar?
Aguilar, you know, he's so elusive when he runs the ball, but the one thing that I think he's a tough runner as well as being elusive. He can lower his head. He can get that extra yardage when he needs to. So I'll turn it over to you, Vance, right now.
As we always do here on KernHighNetwork.com, we enjoy the national anthem with you. We will step aside and we will enjoy the Star Spangled Banner. Listen in. Okay, everybody, we're about to get started. Vance Palm, Kyle Wiley, Kevin Willie, the original trio, and we are stoked to have some big names here. I was trying to get in the stadium tonight, ran into, of all people, Coach Permenter, of course, and I see Stan Green down there, and he is hobnobbing with a ton of the Shafter elite. This is a great, great community, a great high school, great athletics department. It has a very rich tradition, and Firebaugh, as we see them jogging onto the field, bright red pants. They look like the old New England Patriots uniforms, the white top and the Eagles logo. Firebaugh, a little west of Madera. And they have made their best effort on a Thanksgiving weekend to get some crowd down here. But you think about it, this is a 3 seed here. We've got dual threat quarterback. They've got a running back that's put up some big, big numbers here. No doubt, though, that they know that they were up against that number 1 walking out in the far right of that captain's lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing for Aguilar, he's going to have to be that much more dynamic tonight as number 6, Jackson Sanchez, who's his big play threat receiver, who has 866 yards this year and 8 touchdowns. He's out with an injury as he fractured his fibula last game in the quarterfinal game, and you hate to see that. He is just a sophomore, so he'll be back. He's also a hoops player as well, so it nonetheless is a big blow for the Shafter Generals. And it's up to some of those players to step up. So number 21, Pedro Avila, is going to step in at the slot. That's Jackson's position right there as well. So we're going to see them utilize a little bit different tonight.
That's the voice of Kyle Wiley, the director-producer of all of our KernHighNetwork.com efforts, and we will have some more on that later. Our halftime, we'll talk about kind of what we have coming down the line. Also, other high school games going on around the community. We'll try to keep you posted on that. No doubt there's going to be some big news coming from up north. So Shafter wins the toss. They want the football second half, so they're going to kick this football off to Firebaugh. And obviously the crowd's still rolling in here. And when it's a big game like this in a city of this size, the entire city's going to be here, still making their way in. But we're about to get this thing started. You are watching live, exclusive high school sports here from the Kern High School District, KernHighNetwork.com. I'm Vance Palm. I have Kyle Wiley with me, Kevin Willie on camera. It's the Shafter Generals hosting the Firebaugh Eagles, and we are in for a really fun football game. As mentioned, this is the only game being played in Kern County tonight, the only lights on in the entire county.
Yeah. One thing about both these teams, impressive, and you don't want to call it impressive losses, but if you're going to call it that, as Shafter's, their only 2 losses this season against Bakersfield Christian, who's also playing tonight, a semifinal team. They also lost to Golden Valley, who's got one of the premier talents in town at Carl Jones, who is a do-it-all for them. They may not have had the wins. But if you look at Firebaugh, they have 2 losses themselves. One is to Liberty of Madera, and the other one is to Carruthers, who happens to be the number 1 seed in D5. So impressive losses demonstrating that they're a tough team.
Okay. Eagles will receive. And we'll get a chance to see running back Hunter Hogue and the quarterback Joshua Gutierrez. Gutierrez, almost 2,400 yards passing, almost 30 touchdowns. He can also rush, almost ran for 600 yards. And Hogue, over 1,200 yards on the ground, 18 touchdowns, 243 receptions, 79 tackles on defense.
Their big playmaker, number 5, Vance, Tyler Palmer, is their kind of do-it-all athlete that they look to get the ball. So see what he can do.
Here we go, short kick taken at the 20-yard line. And it's Palmer, the aforementioned Palmer. He's looking for some move down the sidelines, and he makes a big one. A lot of yardage, and finally gets brought down about the 43-yard line. So excellent field position for the Eagles. Flag on the very first play, right out of the chute. We see some yellow, and it's the white hat that threw it. And we see the Eagles of Firebaugh dropping back a little bit. So it's at the 33-yard line. It'll be some type of infraction against the Eagles. So it would have been on the 43-yard line of Shafter, but now it's going to be a block in the back.
Penalties against Firebaugh.
So what would have been a big return by Palmer, it gets negated, and Firebaugh will drop back all the way to their 17-yard line. So first and 10.
Eagles, first and 10 on the 16-yard line.
Quarterback Gutierrez, right behind center, I formation for the Eagles. First play of the game from the line of scrimmage. Got eerily quiet before the snap. It's a run play, hit hard behind the line of scrimmage. And they tried to go right up in the middle, and it was Hogue was going to try to pick up some yards.
And this is what Coach Perucci talked about. Firebaugh brings this old school mentality. They don't see a lot of just traditional I formation. They got big Haas in there, number 72. He's definitely a force in there, Juan Terraza. But they bring like a 5-man front, 4-man front in there so we can look at. So
don't have a name for 45. Number 45, he was one of the first guys in on the hit. 2nd and 12. I formation again. Hard count. Doesn't happen. And it's going to be Hogue trying to get outside. Cannot do it. Great job. And most of the work being done by Matt Milwee. Stretched out Hogue. Then took a big hit at the end of the play.
Number 45 is Jacob Espinoza. I got to back up just in case that we have on there, get that in there. But one thing you see that Shafter, they're going to be aggressive on defense, but it also translates on offense. They're going to be just as aggressive. So, like you said, 3rd and long.
3rd and 15. Gutierrez in the shotgun. Has one running back on his right hip. Everybody else spread out. Drop straight back, but so do the Generals. They still may get him. Some good blocking. No, they're going to say it's a flag. Gutierrez gets rid of it, throws it, and it is nearly picked off. Flag on that play as well. So officials flinging them early here.
Well, we had a holding on Terraza in the backfield that's going to be called by the white hat over here. And it looks like the defender was just there a little bit early on that. Could be in the area of pass interference on that, especially with a broken play like that. I think they're going to negate and they're going to replay this down at 3rd and long.
10:21 left here in this first quarter. We're just underway, just started. All the media affiliates here with cameras, of course. Some of them traveling up north, but many of them here. And the partner's right, offsetting penalties. So that pass interference late in the play.
Yeah, Juan Terraza had good penetration right there and could have made the play in the backfield, but he was taken down like a wrestling move on the offensive lineman, Firebaugh. But
Hogue stands on Gutierrez's just to the left of him. Everybody else split way out on each side of the line of scrimmage. Ball's right in the middle of the football field on the 17. Screen play to Hogue, but he drops the football. And he took off running without it. And look at this, another flag. Goodness gracious.
It could be a late hit right there in the area of that. That's a tough one right there to look at, but it's the white hat bringing it in there. And it's going to be a personal foul, late hit on there. That's a tough call to make, especially after making off the incompletion. Maybe he did the complete take around, but if you're a guy engaging in a tackle and you don't know if he's caught it or not, your instinct tells you just to tackle him, but it looks like it's going to be a first down for Firebaugh.
I don't like the call at all.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So, new life for Firebaugh after a big defensive stance. 2 penalties on the Shafter Generals. And Coach Perucci can't believe it. He is just beside himself, wanting to talk to the officials like, are you kidding me? But here we go. Gutierrez behind center now. New life, 1st and 10 on the Shafter 27-yard line. They stay on the ground. It's Hogue looking for some room down here to the near side and gets it. Gets shoved out of bounds at about the 36, 37-yard line, just shy of the first down. So Rodriguez with the shove out of bounds, and it looks like it'll be 2nd and short. Ball at about the 37-yard line, just underway here in the first quarter.
And that gives new life right there, especially, a penalty, a chance to readjust the playing field and all that stuff too as well. As we've seen on 1st and 2nd down, looks like Firebaugh is going to come on that I formation. In passing situations, they've been in 2-by-2, a little bit more spread. And Shafter's responding to this I formation with kind of their heavy packages. They kind of have, 8 in the box sometimes. So see how they respond right here.
I formation, 37-yard line, 2nd and 1. We'll dip below the 10-minute mark here in just a second. They go to Hogue. He tries to find the seam and does. Picks up the first down. He's low to the ground, 5'7".
They went unbalanced on that right side right there, and they actually had like an H-back, which is sometimes a tight end at that wing, and they went power right to that side and got the first down. So I think they want to try and establish dominance up front and try and play that physical brand of football coming out nigh.
Coach Perucci still talking to the official about that flag on the 2nd 3rd down attempt. Really couldn't believe it, and neither can I, actually, but it is what it is. He's still talking to the officials. It's a big play because, as we talk about, new momentum for the Eagles, and the Generals having to stay out there a long, long time. I formation, 1st and 10. They want to go to the air. Gutierrez lets one fly down to the near side, floats it up, should be picked off. Oh, goodness! Two defenders for the Generals bump into each other, and it's Isaac Enriquez and Marco Rodriguez bump into each other, and can you believe it? Tyler Palmer hangs in there. Touchdown, Firebaugh Eagles. I thought it would be and should be picked off, but instead, the defenders bump into each other, and it's a completion for a touchdown.
Yeah, someone's got to be the center fielder on that. Someone's got to call him up or at least knock it down and not let it get like that. So, big TD strike for Firebaugh to get it going.
Early score by Firebaugh. The ball floated up there forever, and it comes down in Palmer's hands for a touchdown. Here's the PAT attempt by Kampa. Good snap. It's up. It's through. And 7-0. 9:22 left in this first quarter. We will take our first little break. Just catch our breath for a moment here on KernheimNetwork.com. Firebaugh up 7-0. Seven nothing early score. 9:22 left here in the first quarter. Kampa's PAT goes through. Always like to take a look at that kicking game, the special teams game early in the game to see what could happen. But I'll tell you what, that ball floated out there a long time, and we go back to the frustration with Coach Perucci and what he thought was the second third down attempt that they stopped. Okay, the first one maybe a pass personal foul, they go over the back on the receiver. But the second one, he just couldn't believe the late hit call, and you get new life, and all of a sudden it's 7-0 Firebaugh.
And on that touchdown right there were 9 men in the box right there. They went kind of a double tight with a little H-back, so you only had one person really over the top. They ran a little play action. And sometimes in high school football, hey, even in the NFL, we see sometimes a receiver makes a play and can make DBs look silly. If you watched that Cowboys game last night and saw that you got to make tackles, you got to make plays on the ball.
Here's the opportunity for Shafter to have the football for the first time. And here's the kickoff. And, oh, goodness, some big numbers. And Jesus Ibarra gives them some great field position. So Ibarra steps up, and he is – giving the Generals the ball at the 46-yard line. So that'll be a fantastic opportunity for the supernova quarterback, Alex Aguilar, to start. Great field position.
I'm like you, Vance and I, you can't see us at home, but we're looking on the field to see if there are any flags that were thrown on that. You never know. It could be one of those games.
Well, 4 of them in the first series. So, and a hard count, and there's one right there. So Aguilar starts off by getting this Eagle defense to back up just a hair.
Our colleague, the much esteemed Rick Van Horn, says that in high school should be like the pros, that if you get them off sides, you should have a chance to maybe take a shot, get a free play like you see on there. And, that's one thing. Aaron Rodgers probably does it better than anyone, but nonetheless, in high school, it's a dead ball.
1st and 5 for the Generals. Aguilar takes a look over the sidelines. Gets the call in. 2 receivers down here to the bottom of the screen. Ball's on the far hash, the left side of the field, directionally going left to right. Aguilar will keep. He'll pitch. And could be a first down, should be a first down, and it is. Nice job running out there by Emilio Villagran. So Villagran picks up the first down. Ball's on the 40-yard line.
And Villagran picks up the rushing privileges, as we talked about. Number 21, who is Pedro Avila, is usually their back in these situations, but because of Jackson Sanchez's injury, he's got to be the slot receiver.
1st and 10, 9 minutes to go here in this first quarter. 7-0 Firebaugh up with an early touchdown on a pass to Palmer. And now Aguilar has the offense on this near hash right below us. Barking out an audible, and he has Villagra to his left. Aguilar wants to keep and gets thrown down. Tough tackle about the 39-yard line. Now they say he got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd and 10.
And their Firebaugh's running. If they run that traditional 5-2, the zone running scheme isn't to their favor. It's got to be more of a man scheme that goes on there. So nonetheless, we got to see how they block and defend that to get Aguilar going tonight.
As we mentioned, no gain, 2nd and 10. Spread formation. They throw quickly. Almost picked off. Almost picked off. Intended out there for Avila.
And that's one right there. There's no safety in the middle of the field, and the receiver's got to look now. And that's one where could Perucci come back to that on hesitations later on, especially if a DB's flying like that.
I'll tell you what, they're very fortunate it wasn't taken back to the house.
All the way to the other side, absolutely.
3rd and 10. Aguilar sends Avila in motion. High snap. He has to go up and get it himself, and he gets stopped well short of the first down, 37-yard line. So they had great field position, have not been able to capitalize, but it's 4th and 8.
They've done their film study. There's a conservative effort to contain Aguilar inside and keep everything in the middle of the field and not let him bust loose on the edge because he's so dynamic. So credit to Firebaugh doing their homework and coming up with a plan early on to stop Aguilar.
Lara, one of the receivers way down here below us on the bottom of your screen, and they put in motion Rodriguez. Aguilar rolls to his left, stop, wants to throw, throws across his body, and it is incomplete. And now Coach Perucci wanted to know, hey, he's climbing up his back. No call there. Didn't get the call. So, 1st and 10. Firebaugh. Wow, Coach Perucci is not happy with Joel Herrera.
He's got to find out that pass protection and the run protection and all that stuff going on there, and they got to get it figured out. The intensity is coming up right now with Coach Perucci, but Firebaugh has new life. They come back in this unbalanced with kind of a H-back formation right now.
1st and 10, Firebaugh, 7.5 to go in the first quarter. They lead by a touchdown. Gutierrez drops back again. Wants to go to the well again. Has a man wide open. Shafter General fell down, and on a 1st and 10, it is a touchdown, and it is complete out there. Fernando Campa.
Number 25, Fernando Campa.
The receiver had a wide open swath of land because the one-on-one coverage, the Shafter General fell down, and just like that, it is 13-0. Firebaugh is up, and if you haven't guessed it, I'm standing right next to the coaching staff for Firebaugh, so you're going to hear a lot of that tonight if it keeps on going this way.
Well, there's not only are we talking about man-to-man coverage, it's zero coverage. There's no safety help over there. One guy slips like we just saw right there. It leads to a 63-yard touchdown. 123 yards in 2 plays, Vance Palm.
Campa can't get any love. He's got to go get the tee from the sidelines after running 70 yards. And here's his PAT. Is it up? And it is good. So early on, it is Firebaugh. 2 quick strikes, one to Palmer, one to Campa, 14-0. First quarter here on KernHighNetwork.com. Back after this.
So if you get tired of that train horn, you can go sit in your car and watch it on your phone.
How about this? 14-0 here on KernHighNetwork.com. Firebaugh in the first quarter, 7:20 left in the first quarter, and they are up by 2 touchdowns. Gutierrez to Palmer, Gutierrez to Campa, and on both times it was an error on the defenders. 2 of them let Palmer get in, and then the one-on-one coverage on Campa, defender slipped, and it was just a wide open run to the end zone. 14-0, Kyle.
What a great call on first down, right off the turnover on downs and all that. Run play action and get that over the top. It's a great time to throw it over the top. And just like that, they have a great game plan. Hey, when you go unbalanced with an H-back on there, you think it's going to be a run, but that's a great play call.
Now they go onside. Ball is fumbled, and it's picked up by Firebaugh. Did it go the 10 yards, though? Did it go the 10 yards?
Onside kick recovered by Firebaugh.
Oh, it is. Firebaugh got it. Goodness. So right now, Campa's had a touchdown pass, 2 PATs, and a perfectly executed onside kick. So it's 1st and 10 Firebaugh at the 48-yard line of Shafter.
A little bit of Sean Payton right there.
What a start. What a start for the Eagles.
Another great call.
Gutierrez behind center. Shafter crowd shocked, stunned, still coming in, and they're looking at the scoreboard going, huh? Gutierrez wants to go again. This time fires down the far side, floats it up, throws it up, and it is incomplete, no flag. So Gutierrez took a hard hit at the end of it.
What do they call that in basketball? If you hit a few threes in a row, you do it another one. They call it a heat check. I think that was a heat check right there to see if they can get away with it another time. That's their 3rd straight time that they've done that 9s all the way out there. So, hey, take another chance to get them while they're down.
Well, Gutierrez has passed for 2,372 yards, also rushed for 541, so he can run as well, but he's got Hogue back there anyway in an I formation, 2nd and 10. They go to the ground. Hogue looking for some room, gets stretched out here to this side, flag on the play, and most likely is going to be a hold on Tyler Palmer. Looked like Palmer was.
Absolutely. I think he engaged and extended his arms, got a little bit of jersey. And I think this one's going to be brought back, but
it is a hold.
Holding against Firebaugh.
Shafter crowd clapping.
Wow.
They're like, hey,
they got to get something.
Well, we'll tell you, we got to slow this thing down.
Still a lot of football. I mean, you have one of the best players in Kern County, out there, and he's only had one time to really get going. But like you said, Vance Palm, we were just here at the Shafter-Wasco game. It was louder than this, and we see it's very, very quiet.
Gutierrez in the shotgun. Heels are at the 35-yard line. Has Hogue to his right. 2 receivers on the left side down below us. 1 way up top. They want to go to the air again. Quick strike out to the flats, and it's wide open territory. And can he get upfield? He's trying to, and it's complete out there to Andrew Rodriguez. So a gain of 5, but it was
Andrew Rodriguez on the carry.
2nd and 22, so now it's going to be 3rd and 17 or around there.
17.
Yeah, right around there.
And you hope some of these mistakes that we've seen early on with Shafter's defense and, misplaying balls in the deep ball, they get ironed out in the first quarter and not in the fourth quarter.
6.5 to go here in this first quarter, 14-0. Firebaugh on top early with 2 long touchdown passes. Here's a big 3rd down for both teams.
And they're coming out a little bit different set, 3-by-1 right here.
He's getting rushed out, and he is
Great.
Not brought down yet, still on his feet. He rolls to his right, has a man wide open. And it's caught out there by Rodriguez, and Rodriguez in the end zone. So that is all Joshua Gutierrez. The generals thought they had him. He got free. Launched a bomb to Rodriguez, and the Shafter defensive backfield just basically kind of stopped. I think they thought he was down. He was not. And that was a beautiful display of ability, agility, strength, and how about Andrew Rodriguez not giving up on the play? Touchdown, 20-0 Firebaugh over Shafter. It is a early warning shot across the bow for this Kern County football team.
I think we're all in shock. I mean, you talk about quarterbacks that can extend plays, stay on the balance. I mean, his knee was almost going down. He had to use his hand to get back up and had enough moxie to look down the field and find the open man.
Campus PAT goes through. So with 6:07 to go here in this first quarter here on KernHighNetwork.com, it is 21-0 Firebaugh over Shafter. We'll be back right after this quick break.
Official
21-0 early, 6:07 left in this first quarter. So now the Shafter coaching staff is going to have to really figure out a way to get with these kids. And head coach Gerald Perucci is bringing a Shafter team that hasn't been in the semis in 17 years. So, yes, they beat Wasco, and that's the big game, a la Ohio State, Michigan type of thing. But the only home game in Kern County right now, and it is not looking good for Shafter. 21-0.
We're still trying to get our breath. I mean, we've only had about 6 minutes in this game. And
see Shafter line up in this defensive onside kick situation. Campus got him last time out. So the lone general back there is Jesus Ibarra, and he is 30 yards between himself and the closest Shafter general. This time, the little pitching wedge knocks it right in that open area. Bounces backwards. Ibarra's got it. Fumbles it! Goodness gracious. Ibarra fumbled it. They had 2 lines of Shafter generals right up on the kicking line, receiving line. And Ibarra had 30 yards in between it, so Campus very wisely just kicked it between them. Ibarra had to run up to it. The ball bounced backwards. He bobbled it for a second, almost turned the football over. Goodness. 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. 6:05 to go in this first quarter. Right now, Firebaugh all over the Generals.
And there's got to be a big stop, big touchdown, I should say, for Shafter right now if they need to get in this game. They don't want to make it a 4-possession game.
Aguilar trying to do what he can do here, and flag on the play. The crowd saw it, we saw it, and we'll see. I believe it's what we all saw. And it is a personal foul.
Personal foul against Firebaugh. First down,
they're not finishing the calls. It was a face mask. So, Kyle, you're getting some Shafter General love with all these bugs up here, huh?
I'm getting rained on by some gnats right now.
Yeah.
Trying to protect our gear up here.
1st and 10, under 6 to go here in this first quarter. Aguilar trying to make something happen. Flushed out of the pocket. He can run to the 50. Cuts upfield, gets to the 45. So the Shafter crowd starting to say, okay, that's what we're used to. That's what we're used to. Nice job by Aguilar to get it up to the, ooh, boy. Right on the first down marker. Will they get it? I don't see how they don't. Yes, they do. They move it. 1st and 10 at the Firebaugh 45-yard line. So Aguilar bumped out of bounds right at the first down marker, so it'll be 1st and 10 inside Firebaugh territory, but they're down 3 touchdowns, and there's 5:47 to go in this first quarter. Aguilar in the shotgun. Sends Villagrán out. Quick little slant inside. It is caught, but great job out there by Palmer to mix it up, and I'll tell you what, not even a game.
He tried to pump one way and get misdirection going one way with a quick screen on the other side, but came back right here. Firebaugh snuffed it out quickly. We're getting rained on by a bunch of gnats right now, so it's a little quiet to look at. They're all over our equipment, so Vance Palm, new jacket, man.
Dude, I'm from Arvin. This is nothing, bro.
Coming down.
Gnats is nothing, dude.
The plague.
Firebaugh, what'd you bring? What'd you bring down there, some gnats? Nice little pass out there. Should have been picked off. Very dangerous pass out there, and actually should have been picked off by Ivan Martinez. Martinez had his hand up, and that would have gone back to the house. So with 5:07 to go in the first quarter, Shafter now looking at a 3rd and 13. And hats off to this coaching staff from Firebaugh. They've done their homework, and they have come prepared. Looks like everything that Shafter's bringing at them is no surprise. Aguilar drops straight back this time, floats one out, overthrows his intended receiver by a bunch, and it looks like Aguilar was looking for Lara to do a different route, and that was 10 feet over his head. 4th and 13. Now Coach Perucci simply saying, we got to boot the football now.
One thing that Aguilar's got to do, he can't try to win it all back on one play, and as a young quarterback and you get in this deficit, he wants to try and do too much too quick. He's just got to take it one play at a time, take what the defense gives him, march down, and just get one score. Still has tons of time left.
Coach Perucci's talking to both quarterback and receiver on that. Here's the first punt of the football game. It's a wobbler, a little knuckleballer, and it hits off the foot of a Firebaugh Eagle. It bounced off the foot, and it's going to be Shafter football. They can't advance it, but it bounced off the foot of Sebastian Zarate. So Sebastian didn't know it was behind him, hit him in the ankle, and oh, goodness.
This could be the very play that they need and they score right here. It's a 2-possession game. Very, very manageable to look at. They have to score on this D, though.
So Zarate was trying to go back and help either block or just be around the area. Bounced off his back ankle, and it is first down, Shafter. So let's see if the Generals can kind of come out and understand and realize what a gift this has been, because it's been a tough first quarter. They trail by 3 touchdowns. It's 21-0. And that punt took such a crazy left bounce. I mean, it just went to the left on one bounce.
And the Firebaugh defender, as you called out, he didn't see it coming, but he's making a block. It's like he wasn't standing around doing nothing. And there's got to be some sort of communication that does go on. Timeout on Firebaugh.
Timeout taken by the Eagles coaching staff. It was such a quick turn of events that when Coach Peruzzi came out and split everybody out wide right now, 2 receivers on both sides of the football field, both sides of the football, as far out as they could get them. Coaching staff called a quick timeout, and that's DeJon Kelly, the head coach for the Firebaugh Eagles. Wow, they look sharp.
Absolutely, and they've come out and tried to make it say. I'll say, for what they've done offensively, put it up, they've had a great plan in defending Aguilar. And we'll see right here what the red zone defense looks like. But they've done a good job containing that run. And even on the pass play, they're bracketing everything underneath and not letting Shafter get their big plays we've been accustomed to seeing.
And, Kyle, think about this. They have 21 points on the board, and we haven't really seen Hunter Hogue go to work yet. 1,200 yards rushing, and he wears jersey number 1. We haven't really seen him do any damage to Shafter yet, and he hasn't had to. So, it's like, watching, as you were talking about earlier, an NFL team that has a ton of weapons, and they're really only having to use one so far. That second one is ready to go. But here's a big opportunity for Shafter to get back in this thing with 4:50 to go in the first quarter. It sounds weird to say.
Yeah. They haven't been down like this in a long time.
Okay, Villagrán, the lone back there with Aguilar. Aguilar could pitch, decides to keep it, takes a hit, gets about 2 or 3 yards.
Hung on to that one.
Great job defending that kind of option, that speed option that's running right here. And there's not a whole lot of space. The defender is kind of holding his water and forcing the quarterback to make a decision. I think on either one right there, it would have either been a loss or a 1 or 2 yard gain by Aguilar.
And Kyle, another thing that you wouldn't really think about in the first quarter of a football game is working the play clock down to the last second of each possession and keep that offense of Firebaugh off the field. Aguilar rolls to his right, throws a BB, and it's knocked down. It is deflected and knocked down by Philippe Saavedra, and he is a big kid, 6 foot 200, and he knocks it down. So brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, tough to do in the red zone, especially if you're a spread team, to get out there to really find that right play call. But sometimes you get the corners if you have the man coverage.
Aguilar flushed out of the pocket.
Can be holding on number 62.
Probably. So Aguilar, I think he knows the flag has been thrown as well. So
The flag on the play.
And it looks like the flag is going to be, my guess would be Willem Waterhouse.
Penalty was for holding against Shafter.
And they have a big line, a huge line. Juan Terraza, 6'2", 305. They call him Big Hoss. They also have William Waterhouse, 6'2", 200. And they have Michael Vanderpool, 6'4", 200. So some big fellas up front. But
they've used Big Hoss the last few weeks, both sides of the ball, and that's tough to do when you're such a big guy like that. They use him at offensive tackle. They've also used him in kind of the nose and that sink tackle on defense. So it looks like they're going to decline the penalty right now and make it 4th down. Not a bad call right here. See if they're kick a field goal or get some points on the board for these Shafter Generals.
It's going to bring in 4th and goal at the 10-yard line.
Marco Rodriguez will kick a 25-yarder. Try to get the Generals on the board, get something happening here. There's the snap. Here's the kick, and it's a beauty. It's a long one. Goodness. So Shafter gets on the board. 4:07 to go here in this first quarter, 21-3, but they've found some points on the board. We'll come back right after this on KernheinNetwork.com.
Thank you for coming
4:07 remains here in this first quarter. I'm Vance Palm, joined by Kyle Wiley, Kevin Willie here on KernHighNetwork.com. The Firebaugh Eagles drove down from just west of Madera all the way down, cut over to the 99, started heading down to this Shafter community, and looks like they brought about 150, 200 of the Firebaugh faithful, and they're up 21-3.
There's still people probably watching this game right now as we're calling it, and they're probably excited in their living rooms and stuff like that as well to see their Eagles put on such a good performance. Coach Perucci did tell me both teams like to throw it down the field. This game could go to midnight, Vance Palm, as we're only 4 minutes still in the first.
About an 8-iron to the 25-yard line, not a long kick. Oh, big contact, a lot of big hits going on out there. And it'll be the 38-yard line. Rodriguez brought it up there, and that's Andrew Rodriguez on the return. So 4:02 to go here. Let's see what this Shafter defense can dial up, because the last 3 or 4 snaps from the line of scrimmage have been touchdowns.
Yeah.
First down,
especially long touchdowns. That secondary, they need to work on, playing the defender and not getting caught where the ball's at, because they play the ball sometimes the defender could leak behind him.
Hogue, about 7 yards behind Gutierrez, way back there. That's what they do. They go to Hogue. He tries to get outside. Nice job
Good
by
tackle.
the Shafter defense. And a great job by Sebastian Tavares.
Hunter Hogue is brought down by Shafter's number 3, Sebastian Tavares, for a loss of about 7 yards. It's going to make it 2nd and 17.
So Hogue has not had success getting to the outside. They continue to try to do that, but that also could be, preparatory work to stretch this defense out. 2 receivers go way out to the right side, the wide side of the football field. Directionally, they're going right to left. Gutierrez in the shotgun has Hogue on his left hip. Starting to get a little bit chilly now. Gutierrez looks right, wants to fling, steps back again. And this time Gutierrez flushed out of the pocket, and he will run for it. Cuts back upfield. Nice job by the Shafter Generals to wrap him up there. And a good tackle out there by Tom Richardson. 56 tackles, 5 sacks this year.
Yeah, Tom Richardson's been one of the cogs of their defense all year, and that was a great hold on. One thing you got to tell about Gutierrez is he extends plays, and that's a scary thing, is when you think the pass is broken down, the secondary's really got to be committed to playing their man until that whistle blows, because Gutierrez is that dynamic extending plays.
3rd and 10. 3 receivers out to the far right side of the football field. We're down here next to him on the short hash. Gutierrez wants to throw left, flushed out of the pocket, looking for receivers. Great job by the Shafter defense. Now Gutierrez thinking he wants to throw, floats it out there, and it is knocked away. No flag, incomplete. Nice job. Intended out there for Andrew Rodriguez. So it'll be 4th and 10.
Gutierrez wants to extend those plays. You see him directing traffic right there. I don't think he had any intentions of trying to run the ball right there. He is looking down the field, and kudos to him, and I wonder what their drill work is like as a quarterback, because when he's scrambling around, he's still looking to make plays and find his receivers. That wheels are always spinning on him. Good job on Gutierrez of extending that play, but great job in Shafter of holding them finally.
Well, Campus, the kicker and the punter and the long touchdown running receiver, he stands at his own 22. Lara deep for the Generals. Perfect snap. Nice long punt, and Lara just waves everybody away. High bounce, and it goes to the far side of the field, about the 32-yard line. So the Generals, trailing by 18 with 2:08, are going to get a chance to do it. What do you have, Kyle?
We got to give a shout-out to Shafter High's administration, Principal Russ Shipley, Assistant Principal of Instruction, Mary Beth Beedling, Assistant Principal of Administration, Dave Boyd, and the Athletic Director Extraordinaire, Activities Director as well. He wears 2 hats and just does everything, infusing culture into the school, and that's Brian Feaster. Does a really good job out at Shafter. We'll get to the Firebaugh administration after this play.
Okay. Thank you, Shafter High School. Aguilar wants to throw, double pump, has a man downfield, and it's caught. Will he get there? He does. He high steps for a second. Still trying to get there, and finally tracked down by Sebastian Zarate. But I'll tell you what, Isaac Enriquez makes a great catch. First of all, a great catch from a great pass, breaks one tackle, and then high steps it to miss another tackle. Zarate saves the touchdown. Wind starting to pick up, a little bit chilly. You can see the flag.
You know, we talked about it earlier in the broadcast, that double move, and you saw that right there. That was a hook and go kind of that they call, or a stop and go to look at. That pump fake really drew him and was able to get beyond the defender right there.
Aguilar pumps, throws. Ooh, man, in traffic. And it was intended out there for Enriquez. Ooh, man, close to being picked off again,
yeah,
Kyle.
Absolutely.
Going to that short corner.
Yeah, and they're finding something on that left right there. A lot of rollouts to that left and a lot of things. We just saw their big play on the left side. Wonder if there's a favorable matchup on that left side as well. But nonetheless, still no safety in the middle of the field. So let's see how they exploit that middle. See if there's some slant packages in here.
They throw it, and it is a bad throw, and Aguilar even knows it. Slipped out of his hands, I would think. And that's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 5. So
yeah,
I can guarantee you, nobody on this side of the football field wants only a field goal.
Yeah, I agree with you, Vance. And, you know, I think Aguilar know that he made a bad throw, but we're talking about that slant. That skinny post is open right there. If he could thread that needle in there and get it on there.
Well, he has Marco Rodriguez in the slot, and he has Lara on the far right side. Got Villagran with him in the back. Aguilar flushed out of the pocket. He can run as well. Takes a look, fires, and batted down. Batted down again. And again, it's Felipe Saavedra. And Coach Perucci telling his quarterback, keep on running, young man. Keep on running.
You know, we talked about you don't want to walk away with a field goal, but a field goal does put it 2-possession game right here. That's a tough pill to swallow. They still have an opportunity to get back in it, but sometimes you want to take points, make it a 2-possession game nonetheless.
Saavedra asking the coach and staff. So he's knocked down 2 balls already. He's been Johnny on the spot. Here is the field goal. It is up and it is good. So strong part of the game. We'll stay here. 21-6, a buck and a half left in this first quarter. Firebaugh struck on 3 long touchdown passes. The first one, we had 2 Shafter defenders here that bumped into each other, and Palmer basically caught it, turned around, run it for 30 yards. The second one, right away, line of scrimmage, first play, Gutierrez drops it right in the hands of Andrew Rodriguez, defender for the Generals, slipped and fell on man-to-man coverage, and then the third touchdown pass was just a thing of beauty. Fran Tarkington-Esch or Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, depending on your age, and it was a scramble for the ages, and then he drops it off in the kicker-punter DB's hands, Fernando Campa, and he goes in. So 3 very long touchdown passes to make it 21-6, 2 field goals by the Generals.
And both of them, we got to pay attention to when they come out and I, because all 3 touchdowns were off the I formation, off of play action, with some sort of giving the appearance of a heavy look, but nonetheless, they do want to go deep with them as well. Firebaugh administration, we want to recognize Principal Anthony Catalan, the learning director Elizabeth Lopez, and the athletic director David Rossetti. We appreciate you guys helping us out this week, getting this organized on Thanksgiving week.
You say the principal is a Catalan? Yep. Nice. I may know some of his people. You never know.
Yeah.
Here we go. Taken at the 24-yard line. Could be good field position for Firebaugh. Nice tackle there. And Firebaugh crowd wanted a late hit. They wanted the flag. Didn't get it. The officials were flinging that yellow right out of the gate, and it's tempered a little bit here. 1st and 10 with 1:30 to go here in this first quarter. Seems like it's been a really big, long quarter because it has been.
I'll say this. Talk about good field position. Anything in the 60-yard range for Firebaugh has been good field position.
Right.
That's been about their average scoring strike.
You're right. If they're inside the 35, it's good field position, and they are. Ball's at the 36-yard line. You talked about that I formation. Here's Gutierrez behind center. Delayed snap, slowed the cadence down, and they go to Hogue right between the tackles, and he gets wrapped up. And he's tackled out there by the big hoss, Juan Terraza.
You know that when you have, it's very, very nice to have that kind of Dyna back, that H-back that you put on the wing rather than the traditional fullback formation right there. It just makes him there at the block quicker rather than having a linebacker blitz the gap and blow it up a little bit sooner.
Well, Hunter Hogue reminds me of McCaffrey.
Yeah. Great
Under a minute to go. One-on-one out there on the far side. They pitch it to Hogue, maybe get him a little bit more of a head start, get his engines going, and that's exactly what happened. Oh, and he lowers the boom after picking up the first down. A big hit by Hunter Hogue. So first down, Firebaugh. They get inside Shafter territory to the 48-yard line, 1st and 10.
And it's runs like that that crush or crippling to a defense, especially because we always think that a sweep is that pretty outside play to go on there. But all that sweep did for Hogue right there is allow him to square his shoulders up and lower the hat on a defender. And that was a good, solid first down run, and that gives confidence to the offense.
Well, you gave him an extra second or two, an extra step or two to survey it, and then he cut back up against the grain, planted that right foot, and was back up into it.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10, under 40 to go here, 40 seconds here in this first quarter. Gutierrez taking a long, long time to get the snap off. He's in no hurry whatsoever. Again, I formation right behind him. Oh, and that's going to be movement on the center. The center with an inadvertent start, so that'll back it up a little bit and stop the momentum for just a second. 29 seconds to go here in this first quarter.
You know, Vance, they're cheating over the safety towards Palmer's side, and, we know that they're going to do that because Palmer's their big playmaker. We got to make sure Shafter on the backside holds their water a little bit, because if they're overloading this side, there's always a boot or something that goes against the grain or a counter. So that backside defense has really got to have that contained.
Palmer right down here below us, the wide receiver, one-on-one coverage on a 1st and 15. Whistles fly again. And that's going to be basically false start again.
Could be a legal procedure against Firebaugh.
Bring it back to the 41-yard line. So now it'll be a 1st and 20. And I don't believe they'll get the play off. I think that's going to be the end of the first quarter. The score is 21-6. They're going to swap sides of the field. So it's been all Firebaugh here in this first quarter. Kern9Network.com bringing you semifinals Division 5 football here in Kern County. Back right after this.
Some of our other local sponsors around here that we really appreciate.
Second quarter action. 21-6 Firebaugh up. I'm Vance Palm, joined by Kyle Wiley, Kevin Willie. Beautiful night of football, the night after Thanksgiving here in 2017. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I had some kale.
Good.
And
tofurkey,
strawberries, and just water.
Yeah.
I didn't eat much.
I think I had about 3 plates and
oh my
a whole
gosh.
bunch of desserts, man. I was eating all day. Love it.
Okay, 1st and 20 to start the second quarter for Firebaugh. Gutierrez on a draw play to Hogue. No dice.
Great play right there.
He gets wrapped up. Big hit out there.
That's Jacob Espinoza right there, number 45. Really read that. Shafter's got 9 in the box, and they have to have that in there because of the personnel that's coming out by Firebaugh. But nonetheless, we got to pay attention to see how they make these adjustments right here. And like I said, they got to stay balanced. They can't get overextended, make those tackles, wrap up, do all those things, and not get so jumpy, because I think something could come back on that backside right there.
Rafael Zamudio is number 42, defensive end right there on the left side. And now again, we've got flags on the play here.
Delay of game.
Delay of game.
Well, let's make it 30, says the ref. Delay of game against Firebaugh.
I'll be one to admit that seemed
a little fast.
A bit hasty.
Yeah.
A bit hasty there. Wasn't expecting that. I thought it might have been an illegal substitution. It was called at such an awkward time. But now it's It's only 2nd and 30 now.
We got a back judge committed to his watch. That's what it is right there. He's committed to that watch.
2nd and 30. That's all. Gutierrez flushed out of the pocket, and he goes down and throws it while he's down, and that'll be intentional grounding. So here come the Generals.
You know, great closeout speed by number 29, Jordan Odom, right there, to force that inadvertent pass. And it looks like it's going to be grounding right here. And yes, it is. We lost it down, plus the penalty.
Against Firebaugh.
Yeah, and if you're the coaching staff for the Eagles, you know, Gutierrez is such a threat with his legs and his arms. You think, just take it, take the loss. Don't understand the pass right there. It's just like another tackle on a great run, basically.
He's high risk, high reward, and sometimes that high risk can hurt you a little bit. And I think you want the competitor, you want the player, and it could drive you nuts sometimes. But then we've seen plays where it's just been a high reward right there. So
3rd and 40, and appropriately, it's 11:11 on the clock. Make a wish, Firebaugh. 3rd and 40. Wow.
We've seen crazy things happen this year with 3rd and 40.
The first down marker's at the 38-yard line on the other side of the football field, and they have the ball on their own 20. Gutierrez just flings one out to this side, looking for some slant back run, doesn't get it, and Palmer wrapped up quickly, so
Pass complete to number 5, Tyler Palmer.
Firebaugh, after their quick start, just a little bit of a stall on offense there. Great job by the defense, and they stubbed their own toe on a few of their procedure calls and penalty calls, and then the intentional grounding did not help. So great job by the defense, and some mishandling by the offense for Firebaugh. Has it 4th and 38, and you know, you're going to see the return man, Lara, standing at the 45-yard line.
And this is a critical drive, and we've talked about that, to get them back into the game. They need to have a touchdown, and I think Coach Perucci is itching for one right now.
Returnable. Lara takes it at the 48, looking for some blocking, cuts back up, back outside to the far side, still on his feet. Nice job, and he goes down at the 40-yard line.
Good tough yards right there. He did about 15 jukes right there, but I'll take a 10-yard effort right there when he's catching the ball on his own 48 to get that extra little thing, get a chance for a touchdown.
I think he juked himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line.
You heard the public address announcer, and by the way, I like his style. Just easy going, doesn't do play-by-play. I like that. And he said it best, 1st and 10 at the Firebaugh 41-yard line. So now you're seeing Alex Aguilar come out with a little bit more of a relaxed pace. He's not, not gripping so hard. They only have 6 points, but seem to be in a better disposition here. Aguilar takes a snap, runs to his left the entire time. No pass intended, and he gets upended there. About a 1-yard loss, actually. A nice tackle out there by Banda.
Good scheme, good plan that they have. I think what makes Aguilar so tough is his ability to run and extend plays, and they're taking away from that. So now if we look at how they're playing them defensively, there are some quick hitters out there, maybe a bubble screen game or just a quick hitch to get them going somewhere to look at it, see how they respond.
Option pitch.
Pitch to number 8, Emilio Villagran.
And again, Perucci all over his offensive line. I think that he's not seeing them finish the plays. They're not going all the way into the playing into fruition, and it's allowing Firebaugh to get in there a lot quicker. And you're not seeing these running backs run with real intention either.
Yeah, usually when you have an option game, you give up a defender because that's who you're optioning off of. But if there's 2 or 3 defenders there, that means someone's not doing their job, and I think that's the case that's happening here.
3rd and 6. Can Shafter capitalize and keep this drive going? Aguilar rolls to his right, has a man open, and it's caught.
Great play.
Rodriguez gets down to the 5-yard line, so
Number 24, Marco Rodriguez.
if you're a Firebaugh fan, you can't understand how he snuck back there behind everybody. If you're a Shafter fan, you're like, this is what we're used to here in General Land. And it will be 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. No huddle offense. Aguilar snaps it quickly, pitches it out here, and this could be a touchdown, and it is. Did not give Firebaugh a chance to catch up. Touchdown, Shafter Generals. Emilio Villagran runs it in.
Number 8, Emilio Villagran.
And this is exactly what Shafter wants to do. They want to go no huddle. They want to play fast like they're doing on defense, and this could get them going right now.
So a quick strike and a no huddle situation left Firebaugh still trying to figure some things out. So Marco Rodriguez here with the PAT. The snap, the hold, the kick, it is fired through. 21-13, 8:57 left here in the half, and all of a sudden the Generals coming back here. KernHighNetwork.com. We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Well, Kyle, you and I were talking all week about this.
Yeah.
And saying, look, this could be a track race. Coach Perucci, knowing who he was up against with Gutierrez and Hogue, understanding that their 2 losses are to 2 very good teams.
Yeah.
And we know all about Shafter.
Yeah.
It's starting to play out that way. 21-13. Shafter trails by 8, but momentum in their hands right now.
Yeah, 21. They're 13 straight points, 2 field goals, all that. All these little points just add up. And sometimes, how do you eat an elephant? It's just one bite at a time. And what they've been doing is one bite at a time, getting back into that field goal. The second field goal, we're kind of scratching our head a little bit. But you know what? It makes sense right now because now it's 21-13, 1 possession game. Shafter's right back in this thing.
Generals need a nice long kick. They don't get it. It's an 8-iron, taken about the 25-yard line. And we've seen this dangerous receiver already in Andrew Rodriguez.
I'll say this. I don't mind that 8-iron right there because you have Palmer and you have Hogue back there. They're 2 most dynamic players. Kick it short. Let someone else beat them, even though they maybe kind of have, but you're not going to let their 2 video game guys really beat you.
Special hello to a Shafter General class of 1990 quarterback, Mike Young. He's sitting in Prague in the Czech Republic airport right now, and he's streaming his alma maters. He said, let's go Generals, sending good vibes from the other side of the pond. Mike, you talk about dedication. We appreciate it, brother.
In Prague. I want to switch plays with that. That's one of my favorite cities. Here we go. Firebaugh on the toss sweep to Hogue right here to the right side. Whole lot of Shafters met, but here goes Hogue. He's got one blocker right here, and he just kind of lowers his head and kind of got tunnel vision. But nonetheless, he goes right to left right there. Kind of a crazy run right here.
Looks like he picked up a first down.
First down, Firebaugh.
Well, Mike, I wanted to send you some good vibes, but this kid Hunter Hogue with 1,200 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns, 250 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 79 tackles. This kid's a stud, but I know if you're following from the Czech Republic, you're going to send us some good vibes. Here we go.
Absolutely.
He looks back. Gutierrez does, has the I formation behind him, 1st and 10 from midfield, wants to go to the air, no, hands it to Hogue. Early contact in the backfield. Hogue is such a tough runner.
You got to bring your body all the way through the tackle. That initial pop and contact, but you got to wrap his legs and go all the way through that tackle right there.
I think everybody in Division 5 is happy he's a senior.
Yeah.
5'7", but he can bring it.
And that McCaffrey description you brought up earlier, that's a great description right there. As you can tell, he's got a little wiggle. He does his kickoff return, maybe does some punt return too as well. So definitely a player. I think Firebaugh wants the ball in his hands.
2nd and 7, 7:45 to go here in this first half. At halftime, Kyle and I will talk about what's coming up next week on the Kern Network. Gutierrez fakes the pitch to the left, comes back, and he faked that bootleg pitch and turned around. Had some real estate, but boy, through that Shafter General defense, you have to be on your P's and Q's at all times.
You know, we used to call it Cobra, cutback boot reverse accountability. That's the backside that you really got to hold your water on that backside. He over pursued, quarterback slipped right up underneath it right there. So you really got to watch that backside.
I like that acronym. Under 7 in about 3 seconds. 3rd and 2. Huge 3rd down for the Shafter defense. Gutierrez pitches it out here to the near side. Can he get to the line of scrimmage? No, he doesn't. He's held. He's stopped. They're in that part of the football field, though. I'd be very surprised if Coach Kelly had that ball booted. I don't think it's going to happen. 4th and 1. Ball's at the 41.
And I think they're going to probably going to go a little bit more power set to that Dyna back right there, that H back. And just very curious. This is a critical down. Momentum.
Listen to this crowd starting to get into it. 6.5 to go here in this first half. 4th and 2, they say. Gutierrez right behind center. Shafter has to look out for that hard count. Everybody packed in tight. Gutierrez doesn't think about it. Wants to throw. Puts the ball in the air, and it's caught.
There's a
flag on the play at the 40-yard line. So it is caught out there by Saavedra, but there is a flag right at the line of scrimmage.
I don't think they had enough men on the line of scrimmage, but I could be wrong right there.
I think they had 5 people in the backfield. They did.
Yep.
They did.
Absolutely.
So, coaching staff, Coach Kelly wants more of an explanation than that. He's asking for some type of communication from the officials to come over and let them know what happened.
So one thing I'll tell you about Firebaugh, what I've noticed in this game, talk about high risk, high reward, 4th and short, running a play action to go over the top. What a great play call. But nonetheless, you got to get the right amount of guys on the line of scrimmage to make it work.
Right. I don't believe it was ineligible man. I believe it was 5 guys in the backfield is what we saw. So now you're looking at a 4th and 6. Changes the complexion completely. Absolutely. With under 6 to go here in this first half. And a timeout is going to be called by Firebaugh. We will take a quick break. 5:57 remaining here. Man, what a football game. Back in a moment. Hey, I want to thank our fantastic sponsors that have put this together for us this year. Well, you guys put it together, and they jumped on board. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, United States Army, Pav Solar and Communications, Premier Lighting, Raymond's Trophies, and, of course, Tony's Pizza. More on you guys in a little bit. This possibly could be our last football game of the season, so we will certainly talk about you guys in a little bit. Okay, 4th and 6, and Firebaugh decides to punt maybe.
I think this is a great call to punt, is to pin him back as deep as they can.
Well, they're not going to pin him that deep. It's not the best punt. It might bounce. Well, it takes a nice Firebaugh bounce and goes down at about the 17-yard line. But the big story is the Shafter defense holding.
Yeah.
And they got a nice break from the penalty call. So now Shafter.
You can never take any possessions away. But since those first 3 possessions, those 3 big plays, Shafter's defense has played pretty well. It did some pretty good job, open field tackling, all that as well. So, and they put up 13 straight points right now. So, you know, one score right here either ties it, puts them down by 1. I still say you just play it conservative right now in this second quarter. You get the touchdown, kick the extra point, just keep going, you know, make it 21-20. But
work that clock, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can keep the Firebaugh offense off the field.
Yeah.
That's half the victory right there. Okay, here we go. Aguilar has 1 back on his left hip, and Coach Perucci wants to call a timeout here with 5:46. And a little bit of a tease, but at halftime we're going to talk about what we've got coming down the pipeline next week. And we won't get too specific with it, but other than to say we're going to finish 2017 with a bang, take a little bit of time off the last part of December, just give everybody kind of a break in the district, give you a break, my man, give you a rest. And then we're going to come back strong at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we got a lot in store. You know, we got hoops and soccer and volleyball all-star and basketball and wrestling, and I mean, you name it, coming in winter. We got a lot going on, especially the week we get back. But you know, very excited the direction we've gone this year. And Vance, us 3, Kevin, Willie, we've been around since the beginning. The growth of this thing, and to see where we come is definitely a big plus. So,
is Kevin Willie aware of our schedule?
He is.
You
months
ready?
ago.
You ready, big guy? Okay. After the timeout that Coach Perucci called before the first snap, we see in motion Aguilar takes his snap, wants to go deep. Oh, has a man wide open if he can get rid of it, but he can't. Goodness gracious, Marco Rodriguez was wide open down the middle of the football field, but too much pressure on Aguilar. Woo!
Yeah, and I think he had time to get rid of that ball right there. I really do think he did, but it's the pressure and the contact and the physicality that Firebaugh has put him on him all game that prevents him from stepping up in the pocket and delivering that good ball.
Wow. Avila again in motion. Aguilar on a 2nd and 10. This time decides to pitch out here to the near side. And a big hit. Villagran took the pitch, but was hit hard by Frankie De La Cruz. De La Cruz brought the wood.
He picked up a couple yards on that. It's going to be 3rd and 8.
And just like that, long yardage here. 4:50 to go here in this first half.
This spread attack is predicated on timing, and it just seems like Shafter hasn't gotten their timing. Little hard count right here they started the game off with, but it just seems like Shafter hasn't found that groove, that rhythm that their offense is just all about. So a few big plays here or there, but they need to keep it consistently going.
When you're down 21-0 early, you're thinking, hey, we've got to try to make something happen here, and that will get you out of your rhythm. That will get you out of your normal pace that you're used to creating here. So the hard count gives them 5 free ones to make it 3rd and 3, a little bit more manageable. And this, not to overstate it, but a big 3rd down for Shafter. Aguilar takes it, looks, flushed out of the pocket. Can he pick up the first down on his own? Can he get it? He's going to have to. He keeps running laterally. Ooh, finally gets the first down. He was running along that first down marker towards the marker, literally laterally.
You know, one thing I could say about Firebaugh's defensive front, all 4 of their defenders, they're kind of giving a little bit of a rush, but they're kind of playing a little bit of contain because they'd rather take a 1-yard sack or a 1-yard loss than rush all the way up the field and leave everything wide open. But first down for the Generals.
Aguilar runs to his left, throws across his body, floats one out there, has a man open. Oh, goodness. And again, it is Marco Rodriguez. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
That junior, Marco Rodriguez, has a slick way of getting behind these DBs. He always seems to be behind the defense.
He's been leaking open, and here's the one thing with Aguilar not really having his rhythm. He kind of altered his launch point right here, rolling out to his left. He delivered a good ball just a little bit too far, and that's sometimes when you're a little overshooting your receiver. You're trying to press a little bit too hard.
2nd and 10, 4:05 to go here in the first half. Aguilar drops straight back this time, fires a bullet to the far side. It's caught right at the first down marker. Should be a first down, but I don't know if the official got over there quick enough because he caught it at about the 40.
Yeah.
They're going to say he's about a yard short.
And Vance, I'm going to say that's a critical throw for Aguilar. Even though it's not a first down, that was an in-rhythm throw, pitch and catch. That can get a quarterback going right there. So we could go back to this 9-yard completion right here as kind of the catalyst for Aguilar getting going.
I wouldn't be surprised we got a hard count right here on a 3rd and 1. No, he just takes the snap himself, and he battles enough to get the first down. He's still on his feet.
Ooh. You know, we talked about this earlier in the game. You asked me what I thought about Aguilar. He can put his head down and do that stuff right there. He wants to get elusive, but he put his head down and almost broke it.
Sebastian Zarate saved a huge touchdown.
Yeah.
Hadn't gone through. So 3:22 and counting. Generals working this clock. Part of the combination that can get them back in really close in this football game here. Aguilar wants to throw, though. He looks across the middle, can't do it, and he wants to throw again. Now he's running against the grain, cuts back up against the grain, and he's brought down for a 5-yard loss. So kind of a jailbreak there, couldn't get free and goes down.
You know, and we've talked about some of these receivers and the routes that they run, all this stuff. Their best route runner, their burner, Jackson Sanchez, see the difference he makes with him being out of this game, 880-something yards receiving. I mean, that's out of the game right now, so these other guys have to step up and get open and allow good balls to be delivered.
And that's a great point. Number 6 for the Generals, not on the football field tonight. Almost 900 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. Oof. 2nd and 14. Aguilar, look out. Is it a screenplay? It is, but had to get rid of it, and Coach Perucci is just beside himself. He's just exacerbated, his hands flying in the air. I don't think he's real pleased with his offensive line at this point.
And sometimes you got to let those traditional screens set up, give it a little bit of time, gets back there. But a great call by Firebaugh on that blitz off the edge that, hey, there was no time for that to set up that timing of that screen right there. So had to get rid of it a little too quick. Ill-advised throw.
Ooh, boy, 3rd and 14. They're still inside their own territory at the 48. Aguilar wants to throw, fires, has his man, and it is picked off. Picked off.
Big interception right there. That's number 4. Zarate with a big interception for Firebaugh.
Coach Perucci out on the officials, not quite sure what he's saying. And he's yelling something about Julian Banda. I think he was trying to get a hold on the line of scrimmage.
It's going to be your 1st and 10 Eagles on the 35-yard line.
And Coach Perucci, I believe, is looking for a penalty on Banda for holding the receiver, possibly why that ball was out in the open, but a great interception out there by Zarate.
There was that wheel combination that went on right there, and it looked like there was holding, but...
And here comes Gutierrez. He floats it out. Another ball that should be intercepted, and it's not. So a dangerous pass by Gutierrez.
Incomplete, broken up by number 19, Isaac Enriquez.
So broken up, but with 2:14 left here in the first half, Coach Kelly is not wanting to sit on this lead. He's trying to get some more.
Well, he sees 2:14 left, and Schaffer getting the ball coming back right there. You know, he wants to get his chance because he knows that the momentum right now is kind of going Schafter's way.
I guess you could different philosophies.
Yeah.
If I'm that coach, I'm thinking, let's run this ball. Let's run this clock out. We got 3 touchdowns in 3 minutes.
Yeah. That's been their formula. Chuck it up.
All right, 2nd and 10. If you're a General fan, you like it. Gutierrez wants to go to the air again. He throws across the middle, and it's picked off. There you go, Kyle. There you go.
Big interception.
You look at some of the Firebaugh crowd back there. They're throwing their hands up kind of like, why? What's going on here? 8-point lead with 2:09 left, and we're tossing the ball around. Now it's picked off, and Schafter is probably thinking, hey, if you're going to give us another opportunity, we'll take it. 21-13, so.
You hear that Schafter name, Milwee, right there. You remember Kyle Milwee from a few years back. Matt Milwee, the big interception right there. And, Vance, you're a stroke of genius right there. You put the ball in the air, give them opportunity. They could have ran it down. Here comes Aguilar.
Aguilar now finds his man, and this is exactly what happens. So, Schafter.
I love that approach with Aguilar. He just throws an interception. Believe in him. Come back in time. Good throw. Sets his feet. Delivers that comeback, which is a tough throw for a lot of people to his left side. And, Aguilar, great throw right there.
2:02 remaining here in this first half. Aguilar this time hands the ball off to Villagran, and Villagran gets it to about the 25-yard line.
Knowing Coach Perucci and kind of the spread attack, you sometimes rely on those smash combination routes where you have something short and then something leaking into the corner right here. And I'm thinking that he could get something into the corner of the end zone on the far side over there. There's a lot of space, a lot of opportunity out there.
1:35 and counting here in the first half. 21-13, a lot of time ticking off here. Aguilar takes a high snap, puts the ball in Villagran's hand again, and he gets to the 20-yard line. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and short, and that clock is just racing.
It's going to make it 3rd and 3.
And you look at that, they're cheating the safety over to the trip side. So it's vacating a lot in the middle, and there's a lot of lanes and a lot of running. You could see it right now.
Aguilar drops straight back, thought about going left. Now he stops, wants to throw out to the flatlands, and it's incomplete. And high pass with under a minute to go. Tough decision here. 4th and 3.
You kick the field goal, and you're down 5. You get the ball at half. Aguilar's got to get rid of that ball a little bit sooner. And he gets rid of it sooner, allows his runner to run out of bounds and stop the clock right there. So,
and honestly, Kyle, he had real estate.
He did. He had a lot.
Could have picked up the first down himself, but it is what it is. And now the strong leg of Marco Rodriguez. And when I say strong leg, this will be a 37-yarder. And based on what I've seen already, should be no problem. Hope I don't jinx him. The snap, the hold, and it's up, and it is good. And he got hit. Flag down. Roughing the kicker.
Flag on the play.
It is roughing.
First down.
Against Firebaugh.
That ball barely snuck over the goalpost.
Yeah, but now
it won't even matter.
Right.
You got to take the first down.
Coach Perucci's going to take the penalty. They ran over Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And now, with 55 seconds to go, they'll eschew the 3 points and say, we want to get closer. We want 6.
Yeah.
Okay, that penalty for roughing the kicker against Firebaugh. That's going to bring a Shafter first down.
So the field goal was a 37-yarder. It was low. It was sideways. It was rotating sideways.
Yeah.
It goes through, but then they run him over. So for as dazzling of a start as Firebaugh has had, they've also had some costly penalties. They've got all the talent in the world, but they've had some mistakes that have allowed Shafter back in this thing.
They haven't scored since 6 minutes in the first quarter, so.
Aguilar rolls right, throws underneath.
Tons of time.
Gets the ball to the 3-yard line. Should be 2nd and goal. From about the 3, I guess.
Pass completed to number 22.
Probably a design quarterback run they're going to have right here, I would imagine.
37 seconds and counting.
From the 3.
You've got Avila right behind her now on the left hip of Aguilar. Under 30 seconds to go. 2nd and goal from the 3. Aguilar wants to run it himself. He will not get it. And now Coach Perucci's going to have to call a timeout. He's going to have to call a timeout. And they finally get it called, and Coach Perucci's been calling for about 4 seconds. Oh, and he gets a penalty flag. Unbelievable.
Wow.
The white hat calls a penalty on head coach Gerald Perucci because he was so effusively getting on the official, and now the white hat wants to talk to him. So we have the lead official speaking to the head coach from Shafter, Gerald Perucci. Coach Perucci was yelling for a timeout, was not getting in the suit as he wanted. He started calling it at 22 seconds, and it got down to 19. But I have to tell you, if you're one of the players, if you're the quarterback of the team, you need to be thinking timeout the second the ball goes down, frankly. So an awkward penalty to have called on you when you're getting the blessing of having a roughing the kicker to move the ball even quicker. So with 19 seconds to go here in the first half, Kyle, we've seen it all tonight.
And I'll tell you this, officials do not have they have a tough job. And, sometimes, they make a call that is praised, and they make a call right here that is booed right here. And I always say this, there's the spirit of the law, there's the letter of the law. And in an intense game, semifinal game right here, that's a tough call to make on there where a coach is intense. He's just coming back. You got to understand the nature of the game. And to me, that's just a little much to call in a semifinal game. And I'll say this, Vance, I'm not a fan of that call right there.
So now brings the ball back to the 17-yard line. So it's 3rd and goal from the 17. So you get a roughing the kicker call, 1st and goal, and now it's 3rd and goal from the 17.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 17 to the goal.
Firebaugh crowd, they're up. Shafter crowd still not up just yet. So now Aguilar stands in the shotgun, has Avila to his left. 2 receivers way out on both sides. In the slot on our side over here is Jesus Ibarra. 23 seconds, and I believe Shafter has one more timeout. Coach Perucci's called 2 now. Firebaugh's called 2. Okay. No loss of down. Well, there's no loss of down. I think that everybody thought there'd be a loss of down. There isn't. Everybody looks over to the sideline for the call. Again, 3rd and goal from the 17-yard line. 23 seconds to go in the first half. Aguilar drops back, looks left the entire time. Never looks anywhere else but left, and it's picked off in the end zone. Not a good play at all. A soft pass to this near corner over here, and Coach Perucci's just beside himself. Emotions running high right now. He's getting into it with Aguilar a little bit, telling him we want that ball maybe a bit more zip on it. Or I'm not quite sure, but it did not help to have an unsportsmanlike conduct call.
say that again. And I think if you're Coach Perucci, you want to tell Aguilar, put that ball out of bounds where no one could catch it.
1st and 10, run play. Hogue has it. Hogue trying to get outside, and he does. How about this? Does Hogue get out of bounds?
Number 100, Hogue on the carry.
There must be some type of penalty because Firebaugh is going all the way back to the line of scrimmage. I didn't see the flag fly in the air. 8 seconds left in the half.
Looks like it's a false start.
Okay, illegal formation is the call. So, man, when I said we've seen it all, I meant it. We have seen everything this first half. Name something we haven't seen other than a safety.
Hail Mary. We may get that.
Well, we kind of did. Yeah, we've seen some high lobs thrown up by Gutierrez.
They call those oop-de-oos right there. Jeez.
Well, 8-point lead. Shafter crowd getting into it, letting everybody know what they think. All right. Gutierrez delays the count. And was there movement or encroachment? False start, so now that ball is going to go back to about the 1-inch line. Well, I said we've seen everything but a safety.
We could get that knock on wood out here. I mean, a safety makes it, 6 points right here, and they get the ball back. So, I mean, it's been a wild half, and I think both teams are, the way it's ended, it's been kind of not what they imagined.
Okay, 1st and 14. They shove the ball forward and enough to run the clock, I believe. And that does it. So what a half. 34 wild points scored in this first half. Shafter trailing by 8. Firebaugh up early, and they haven't scored since. 21-13 is the score. Hope you're enjoying all of this on KernHighNetwork.com. We won't have a big halftime show, but we do want to talk about what's happening next week. So hope you're enjoying this. Division 5 semifinal, 21-13 lead, Firebaugh over Shafter. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock at no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story, and then just sort of directing people in my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Pollard, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
We're learning a lot about how mobile apps are made, the programming and coding that goes into it, along with the time and effort. Along with that is also the entrepreneurship of the class, learning how to run our own business.
We're also learning basic marketing skills, people skills, graphic design, and social media marketing so that they can freelance, they can work on their own, they can apply for a job, they can go to BC or Cal State or any other university who offers programs that are specific within the mobile app development concentration or business concentration.
With my future and career, I do plan on being somewhat of an entrepreneur, owning my own business, sort of a clothing brand line. And so this will definitely help me out with possibly an app for my company, and the entrepreneur part helping me be able to run my business smoothly as I can make it go.
We're learning the different roles, what a game designer is, what they do, and how video games are made, and how to deconstruct them.
We're also going to be teaching the hard skills, which includes learning the Unreal Engine. And what the Unreal Engine is it's a game development tool that students will be able to use to make their very own video games. And this is something that actually industry professionals use every day to make some of the top-selling games. They're all the same size. You're all on the same plane. There's no undulating terrain or anything like that.
Our instructor, he's really amazing. He encourages everybody. He's really fun, and he makes learning fun.
So they've got top-of-the-line computers here, and they're set up to excel. I would be surprised if other students their age coming out of high school would have anywhere near the level of expertise that these guys are going to have.
Welcome back, everybody. 21-13 is the score. Firebaugh up by 8. First things first, let's talk about the first half, Kyle.
Wild game. We saw in the first 6 minutes for Firebaugh 3 big touchdowns about in the 60-yard range, and it was off simple I formation, unbalanced, play action, and just throwing the ball up high. And they just made some plays, and Shafter Generals didn't tackle in the secondary or make good pursuit angles on the ball, so allowed them to go up 21-0. But Shafter has made their runs that going on there. A mistake at the end with that Aguilar interception in the corner of the end zone that probably should have been thrown out of bounds, maybe approached a little bit differently. But Shafter's put up 13 unanswered points. They get the ball back at half. They could get right back into this game. So a lot of football left, and I'm happy for Shafter to overcome a 21-0 deficit like that and to march back into the game.
High emotions on this Shafter sideline. You've got Coach Perucci getting into some of his offensive linemen early, having some conversations with his quarterback, Aguilar. Such a heated, vociferous moment with the officials that he actually had a very costly penalty. And I'm a big Coach Perucci fan, but possibly maybe need to dial it back in the second half, because now the officials having this discussion down here, and the dean of local sports, Greg Curley, in try to get some words on that. So it'll be an interesting second half right here below us. Okay, before we go any further, let's talk Thanksgiving. What a great American holiday it is. Kevin Willie, I'd like to hear some transparency on your meal yesterday.
About what I ate or how much I ate?
Both. What you ate? What'd you have?
Well, we just had some ham. I had a nice, relaxing Thanksgiving. I had to work for a few hours, and my family went to my parents' house over in Morro Bay, so I just kind of came home and fixed some ham and watched a little bit of a movie and just relaxed.
How much did you put away?
I didn't overeat. I didn't. This is probably the first time that I didn't overeat, because I just purposely didn't fix myself much.
All right. I was joking in the first quarter about having kale and water. I went to my sister's house, beautiful Valerie Dameron, my brother-in-law Paul, my niece Crosby, our adopted niece, Demetria, and I've been trying to get the workout scene going, trying to get myself in shape. So I had 1 1/4 plate. Now, that one plate was about 4 feet high, so
you went from 1 1/2 to 1 1/4 in a span of 5 minutes.
I thought about it. It was really only 1 1/4, but,
okay.
man, a great time and a really great.
It was a big plate.
It was a very big plate, but normally I go for 3 or 4 big plates. Now, what about you, Health Nut?
The first plate I downed, I thought it was an appetizer. So I put away 2 pretty big plates, and then I sat down for dessert and had to try every dessert.
You were eating standing up?
I had to try everything out to kind of figure it out. But I am a sucker for good stuffing, and I judge a Thanksgiving meal based off of that. My mom, Diane Wiley, in Nashville, Tennessee yesterday, she set the bar for that. So, I got to say, my brother's mother-in-law cooked the stuffing yesterday. I was at his house over in Paso Robles, and it was delicious. And I can't thank Linda enough for cooking that good stuffing. It was really, really good.
I have to say that's my downfall too, and I didn't have any stuffing yesterday, so I went light on the carbs and
packed it away.
All right. In a moment, we're going to talk about next week. But let's talk about this year so far.
Yeah.
Kevin, we've seen some crazy stuff this year. We've seen some football games that have been, out of this world crazy. Let's hear from you so far.
You said earlier this game we've seen everything but a safety, and we've saw 3 or 4 safeties this year.
Yeah. Saw 3 safeties in one game.
Yeah.
It was just like
I look back to.
Seemed like
I know what your answer is going to be. You had the call of the year, the game of the year. We had a really nice one a couple of weeks ago with West and Highland, and I'm going to stop. I'll pick that game because we can pick a lot of different games. For me, I'll pick the West Highland game because Highland had just come off the huge loss from North to end their perfect season and their lone championship. We go into Scotland Yard, and it's primed for a first weekend of playoff football for Highland to get back in the groove. But the West High Vikings are back, Kyle.
Yeah, Dante Mason, first time I got to see him live. You saw him at the Stockdale game. You're able to see how teams have to pay attention to him every single spot on the field, whether it's kick return, punt return, wide receiver, running back, at quarterback doing the Wildcat. I mean, there's so many different ways that they utilize him, and that was fun for me to watch. I mean, the very first play of the game, he has a pick 6 right off the bat, and he ends up with 3 interceptions on defense and 4 touchdowns on offense. That game really stuck out to my mind a little bit too as well. So,
volleyball.
Yeah.
Had some great moments in high school volleyball this year. I called a couple of BHS games that I thought were great. The Drillers took the Patriots deep, but you also had some really good calls this year in volleyball.
We had, great games that, may not get the pub and love that goes out there, but we had Golden Valley Independence game, almost went to 5 sets, and it was just a great game where Golden Valley's marching back. We were able to see, just everyone in town. We had Highland BHS. We started out the year, so we were able to see Highland young freshman out there doing her thing, looking at that. And we just got a lot of different talent to look at. And, of course, Liberty Patriots were able to see probably the top team in town this year. I would, argue back and forth with Garces, but watching, Lauren Burt and Elise Ferreira and Lainey Camarillo do their thing, it's special when you see good talent like out there. Division I talent, Elise Ferreira going to the University of Oregon. So, I learned a lot in volleyball this year. You really helped me out along the way. Titan Tom Myers over there at Frontier and Dr. Lewis, Amastoyakovich. All 3 of you kind of helped where I started to understand the game a little bit more and have an appreciation. And Lewis Amastoy really said it. It's almost like it's a dance almost, and there's like a very artistic form of volleyball when rhythms are going well and all that stuff. And, made for exciting. That last game, and we capped it off, that Liberty BHS game at BHS where it went into 5. And, both teams playing hard and just unbelievable talent that we have in town. So
next week.
Busy week.
Next week, we take this vault of information that we have just compiled with football and volleyball. You guys did a youth football championship the other night. We've done marching bands. But now we're getting into setting the table for winter sports, and I love how you're doing it, Kyle. You're setting us up next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'll take some time off and get ready for January. Let's start with next Monday. What a big night, not just for the sport of basketball, not just for winter sports, not just for the Kern High School District, but one school specifically is going to have a big night next Monday night.
And it's North High School in the grand opening of their new gym. And how fitting is it to name the court after Lloyd Williams, who is just a local legend in the hoop scene around here. You being a hoops guy, and especially a hoops guy in the local scene, to know about Lloyd Williams and the impact that he's had. We had a media day, a few weeks ago, and it was just – I just had an awesome time of seeing the legacies that North High are trying to preserve. As you walk in the foyer of the new gym, you see the trophies, and they have like his diary that he took notes on, journals and stuff like that you can take a peek at, and just all the people that made it work. And we were able to talk with his widow, and we were able to talk with his daughter, and it was just a great experience. And Coach Kurt DeRosset was out there, and DeRosset has really helped out a lot, with everything going on. He's given me a ton of film that, next Monday you're going to see some vintage stuff that we can look at. Just a cool experience for North High. And Principal Mark Balch has said it really well. This is something that our community needs. It's something that brings a beacon of hope. They talk about Stars on Point all the time. This is the point of their campus, is this new Taj Mahal gym, and it's just a great thing for the community of Oildale that they can really turn to.
North High School hosting
Centennial High School
for the opening of this gym. And what we call the North-South Battle of the Sword at North High School, you look over, we're calling it, we're on we're up on the high stands right there in the press box, and you look over to see it just kind of unfolding onto the football field, the ticket office, the front doors. That is going to be one very, very fun night. North High hosting Centennial. Lloyd Williams, one of my favorite people, one of the most encouraging, positive people. I remember I would play my ball at Cal State, and he would come to the games, and after the games he would come up and talk to me as a local player, and he was the most positive, reinforcing guy. Couldn't think of a better person to name that after. So that's Monday night. Then you've got us working Tuesday night, but a double-header Tuesday night. Two things going on. Talk to him about, what am I doing?
Double-header. Actually, me, you, and Julie and our main man, we're going to be at Ridgeview calling Ridgeview BHS boys and girls basketball, and it's a great preseason opener to get right off the bat. We saw the special nature of Ridgeview the year before when you had McCall and Roberts out there. They don't have the McCall and Roberts. Those are once-in-a-generation type players, and you see him, Justin McCall at the CSUB games and all that stuff. But nonetheless, Ridgeview, Coach Mike Martin has had teams out there every year. BHS is reloaded again. They're going to have, they just come off Division I Valley Championship run where they just fell just a little bit short, so they're anxious to get back in that. BHS girls have Taylor Caldwell, who's perhaps arguably one of the best players in town, her and Kalasia Dean at Independence, fighting for that, going against Ridgeview girls who are kind of rebuilding. At South High that same night, it's South Golden Valley in soccer, the first ever time we've ever done soccer, and the whole broadcast is going to be in Spanish. So we're excited to have that and provide this opportunity for people in a community that are excited about that. There's a lot of buzz around this game. We got Javier Cervantes, who's the head coach at East High. He is going to be calling the game in Spanish, and he's been around the game a long, long time. So I'm very excited about that we can offer this to a large portion of our student population is Hispanic, and English is a second language. So this is a great opportunity for us.
Both going on Tuesday night. Then Wednesday night,
we got the senior volleyball all-star game, so we get to have two games that night, and it's just, we get to see the cream of the crop, the talent that gets out there one last time, and some of those girls that we weren't able to see this year. We did 8 volleyball games this year as opposed to just one last year. Wow. And then next year we're going to continue to try and get every single school involved. Vance, I do want to give a little bit of shout out. Yeah, I know you were kind of looking at me at the game of the year, the call of the year, that Highland South, and that is going to forever stand out in my mind. But I'll say a memorable moment for me this year is going to Kern Valley and seeing what Kern Valley High School is all about. They sometimes are the forgotten school out there in there because, they're kind of, distance and all that stuff. And we got a lot of schools out here, but real small town football where the whole community is responding. It just tucked up on a mountain, just a beautiful sunset. It was just a really cool time to be out there at Kern Valley that night.
So a busy year we've had already, a busy next week, and a busy second half about to start off. Yeah. We'll be back in just a moment, but before we leave, I just want to say one last thing to both you and Kevin. Guys, I want you both to know this from the bottom of my heart. I love your two hats.
It fits comfortably.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
How does yours fit, Kevin?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Mine fits pretty good.
They're very nice Kern High Network hats. Really, you guys look great in them. I heard that they're really cool hats to have. Back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Kyle, you have any scores we can go over real quick before the third quarter starts?
When I was looking on there, San Joaquin Memorial was up big over North. I think it was last time I looked, it was 43 to actually CVC 43, North High 0. So that's kind of getting ugly. San Joaquin Memorial is up big over BCHS 35-7. It looks like.
What about the big one?
Don't forget to go see
the big one looked at last time I looked, it was 21-13, but now it looks like it's 21-19 Central over BHS.
I guess we're missing some PATs.
Yeah.
My sources are telling me it should be 21-21, but we missed.
And if nothing else, go see that place because it's great. That's going to be on
two PATs. BHS has missed 2 PATs, so, ooh, boy, that's a nice football game up there.
One thing I'll tell you about BHS is we didn't know what to expect last week. Liberty's, BHS game. Liberty, you just called a great game, 27-24. And all of a sudden last week, BHS with Caden Ochoa solidified at that quarterback position was a completely different team.
Pedro Avila and Jesus Ibarra in the field.
Okay, third quarter action, 21-13. Firebaugh is up, but they're kicking the football off to the Shafter Generals. And again, we want to thank Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, United States Army, PAV Solar and Communications, Premier Lighting, Raymond's Trophies, and Tony's Pizza. Third quarter action about to get underway here. Firebaugh has already successfully had an onside kick. Campa, who's had a touchdown pass and 3 PATs and a successful onside.
He had an interception. Did you call that? He had one at the end of the half right there.
Finally, somebody breaks out the 3-wood, and it's taken down to about the 8-yard line, taken down there by Avila. Avila makes one good move, 2 good moves, still on his feet, goes down about the 26-yard line. And the Shafter General crowd wanting to get back in this thing and stay in this thing.
Avila's that playmaker, that Jackson Sanchez. They're trying to put him into that role, that slot receiver. We haven't really seen him, have any catches out of the slot, but let's see how they utilize him as they come out in this app. They were loud coming back into the stadium. I think Shafter's just ready to get it going and get that rhythm going.
And, Kyle, you made some notes here on my board. It can't overstate it enough. Jackson Sanchez, almost 900 receiving yards. That, he fractured his fibula last week.
Yeah.
And that can disrupt the mechanics of what happens with Aguilar, where he looks. So here we go, 1st and 10, high snap. And it's a run play right up the middle. And Villagran has it.
Handoff to number 8, Emilio Villagran.
One thing we've seen a lot with Aguilar, and they've really taken away, is that RPO, that run-pass option offense that go on there. We saw that a lot against Wasco when we were here, is you really didn't know what they were going to do, but they've kind of really limited what Aguilar can do.
Fake handoff. Aguilar's almost fooled everybody, but didn't happen. Saavedra able to haul him down. So very quickly it's 3rd and 4 from their own 34-yard line.
And they've done a really Firebaugh. When I say they, Firebaugh's done a really good job containing Aguilar and really limiting his ability to run the ball. And they've kind of made him a little bit of a pocket passer sometimes. Sometimes they roll him out, but they've really taken that aspect of his game away, critical aspect.
Aguilar, big, strong run to Villagran.
Handoff to Emilio Villagran.
So Emilio Villagran, he's 6 foot, 200-pound, big running back.
Yeah.
He's not going to go left to right, but he's doing exactly what they need.
Absolutely. And Villagran, just a junior, if he can get some momentum, I mean, this is a statement game because he usually hasn't been doing that because that's been Avila. This could be a good game, momentum going forward.
Aguilar takes the snap himself and he gets about 4 yards to about the 44-yard line, bring up second and about 6.
Like you picked up 4 on that. It's going to be.
You know, they're doing these designed runs. If they're going to take away the edges and really work on that contain, they're working Aguilar in between the tackles because there is only one linebacker there.
Aguilar fumble, ball's on the ground, and that is going to be all Firebaugh.
Wow.
Fumble on the play.
That's tough started. Trying to make a play, get it happen. Got to take care of the ball.
Ball popped right out of his hands.
By Firebaugh, that's going to be a Firebaugh first down at the 48-yard line.
And this is one thing we got to pay attention to with Firebaugh. They like to, we've seen them right after a big play, a big turnover. Are they going to take a shot down the field? We've seen that before, so got a safety playing a little bit further deep, crowding those 2 receivers.
Gutierrez looks to his left. He's behind center. Wants to go deep, just like he said, Kyle. Flushed out of the pocket this time. He throws one up. Ill-advised pass. And unbelievable, it's caught.
Campa again.
Pass completed to number 25, Fernando.
The ball
Campa.
floats out into no man's land, and Campa slips under the defender, and it's almost as if the Shafter defender was waiting just for it to come into his hands, to drop into his hands. Campa went up and got it out of the air. 1st and 10, Firebaugh at the Shafter 24-yard line.
Yeah, and that's an opportunity to make a play on the ball, but got to play the man. Got to continue to play the man and not be ball watching. Comes to hurt him again.
1st and 10. This time it's Hogue. He hits the hole hard. 8-yard gain. Low to the ground. Talking to coaching staff at halftime. College Sequoias, obviously an option for him. And don't know how long he would stay there. He's so versatile.
You know, you see him, he's 5'7". I mean, you look at that, doesn't have the prototypical size, but you know, heart and toughness and speed and moxie and things are just certain things you can't teach. And I think a lot of schools would be happy to have a guy like that on their team.
Hogue again cuts back up after he sees nothing. And he gets to the left and picks up the first down. So kind of the wind out of the sails of the Shafter crowd. They took the kickoff, had great field position. And we're about to go inside Firebaugh territory, and the ball got coughed up by Aguilar, and all of a sudden it's right back to that feeling of, oh no. 1st and 10 from about the 12-yard line for Firebaugh.
Well, since 6 minutes left in the first quarter, Shafter's played really good defense. So let's see if they button up right here in the red zone.
Palmer and Campa way out to the left side. Gutierrez wants to throw, fires right across the middle. And it's the aforementioned,
I think there's going to be a hold.
Palmer, but it's probably going to be a holding call. It's right out here in
Catch by number 5.
the area where we could all see it. It's probably Ivan Martinez that's going to get the call there.
Yeah. Right on the edge. Looks like he was holding that, got a hold of that jersey, kind of spun him around a little bit. And anytime you spin someone around like that, it's going to wind up being a holding call. But that negates a big play for them, but it definitely helps Shafter have some momentum.
Back to the Shafter 18-yard line. 8:27 to go in this third quarter. Firebaugh scored 3 touchdowns in the first 5 or 6 minutes, haven't scored since. But the Shafter Generals have stubbed themselves in the toe a few times, and they still trail by 8, 21-13. A flag here, and it looks like it could be offsides.
Could be false start on the offense.
Illegal procedure against Firebaugh. That'll cost him another 5.
Got the Firebaugh coaching staff to my right, and they're as fired up as anybody. They're doing a good job tonight, very good job. 1st and 20. Gutierrez wants to throw, flag on the play. Launch to the end zone again, and this one is picked off. Flag on the play.
Appears to be in the area of holding, and I think it's going to be declined.
Pass intercepted by number 19, Isaac Enriquez. There's a flag on the play. I'll keep you
So
posted.
Gutierrez launches one up into the end zone, and that's going to be declined. It's a holding, illegal procedure. So both teams have had some really bad penalties and bad times, and that was a bad throw. So either way, Firebaugh not using their best judgment there is what it is. Shafter now, 1st and 10 again, 8:12 to go in the third quarter. And I think Coach Perucci, if I'm guessing, is just out there to talk to the guys and say, fellas, we have a lot of football left. Let's get a good, fluid drive going, make good decisions, hang on to the football, offensive line, do their job, and let's start moving the football down the field. We're only down 8 with a quarter and a half to go.
And that high risk, high reward we talk about, Gutierrez finally caught up to him right there. I mean, he just chucked it up. But you know what? He's chucked it up 5 times before that they've all completed.
He's chucked it up all year.
Yeah. Come and do a stack right down here, or maybe a combo play.
Aguilar flushed out of the pocket, fires, throws, and it's caught. What a nice pass, a nice catch. They call it incomplete. Thought the diving catch was going to be good, so it'll be 2nd down.
Pass incomplete.
And you're right, they're going man to man, and they're trying to, I believe, dare Aguilar to throw it.
I think they're going to see some of those double moves kind of come back to it, try and lull them to sleep a little bit with some of the short game, but they're going cover 0, leaving the middle of the field completely vacated.
Possibly a screen, possibly no, it's a pitch. Villagrán takes it out here to the far side, the near side, and he gets up to about the 45-yard line. So a nice, good run out there by Emilio Villagrán. And Villagrán's had to carry the rock a ton tonight.
And that's a name just a few weeks ago we didn't call a whole lot of. You know what I mean? It was a lot of Pedro Avila because of Jackson Sanchez being that slot receiver. And nonetheless, Villagrán's had a very good night tonight as he's done some heavy lifting in this run
You're
game.
exactly right. 3rd and 1. Aguilar finds some space, finds some room, gets to the outside. Flag on the play, and the crowd is not going to like it. Aguilar goes down to the 22-yard line, but that's going to be a holding call, and it's going to be called on David Acosta. And Coach Perucci not arguing it at all, and I'm sorry, that's going to be on Isaac Enriquez. And Perucci not arguing, went over to actually talk to Enriquez and saying you can do it. The talented receiver with 6 touchdowns, over 600 receiving yards.
But wonder if it's still enough for a 1st down, depending on where the ball, where they call it at. So even though it was a holding call, it's a spot foul, and I think they got enough for the 1st down. So
they do have the 1st down. It's inside Firebaugh territory, but Enriquez caught with the holding call. 7:46 to go, 3rd quarter. 21-13, Firebaugh leads by 8.
A little bit of momentum. That could be, even though it was brought back, Aguilar, first big run we've seen him have.
Looking for more. And he goes down about the 37-yard line. Another 1st down. So Alex Aguilar had 1,347 yards rushing coming into tonight. 22 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Rushing. 29 touchdowns. Passing. 51 touchdowns total. 2,700 yards in the air. 1st and 10, and we're going to have movement. And Shafter's trying to say that it was encroachment. Tom Richardson trying to sell it as hard as he can to the officials that, hey, Firebaugh jumped over the line, but no, the officials say no dice. That's on Shafter.
Even in the midst of all of that is you got to hold your water even if they come, because as we see right there, if you start moving, official may not see it all. So
Shafter crowd, they want the call to be defenders in the zone. Aguilar looking left the entire time. Nice job by the lineman there. Now Aguilar wants to run. I like it.
There
he's down the far side.
There he goes.
Look at the move, and big hit at the 15-yard line. Love the fact that he just kept going and hung on to the football.
Yeah, absolutely. And right there, you got a little bit of Aguilar's athleticism, what he can do with the ball in his hands.
7:07 left here in the third quarter. The Generals on the move. They trail by 8.
Here comes the hurry up.
21-13. They get right up over the football. And Firebaugh looking a bit discombobulated, trying to get everybody in the right spot. Aguilar, will he take advantage of it? Nah, slow count. Thought he might try to pitch, hangs on to it, nothing doing there. So kind of a delayed play, nothing really happened. And Coach Perucci not happy.
We didn't know if it was going to be a shuffle pass, a forward pass, a option pitch right there. So in the words of Vance Paul, a little discombobulation right there going on.
You're right. There was nothing decisive about that play. Second and 10, 7:03 and counting here in the third quarter. Starting to get a little bit more brisk. The wind is not blowing. The flags they're not moving an ounce, an inch, but it's getting colder. Aguilar keeps right in the middle between the hash marks and gets up to about the 7-yard line. So now we're seeing Double-A do what he does best, and that is pick and poke and and do some saw blading in there. He's doing it.
And because Firebaugh's done a good job containing them, Coach Perucci's kind of changed up his strategy and going in between the tackles, and it's really paid off on some of his longer runs. He's only 5'10", 160 pounds. He's able to squirm his way through there, but he's elusive and he's tough. So,
right, to your point, they try to box him in. Coach Perucci says, fine, he can run in a small box. Aguilar wants to throw quickly and does. Oh, and the ball's dropped. Great pass, great look, and it is just dropped.
So now with the over pursuit of a DB, you got to kind of look at some of the other things that they may have, kind of the out and ins and the ins and outs, kind of double moves down on that goal line.
Well, sorry to interrupt you, but I don't see the field. Well, now they brought him on now. I did not see that field goal unit coming on very quickly. Coach Perucci wants to talk to his offensive coordinator over there and say, what's the story? And for a moment, we thought they may be going for it on a 4th and 3, but they're going to try to get these 3 points here. Rodriguez has been perfect tonight. The snap, the hold, the kick, it is up and it is good. So it goes through. We'll take a break. 6:09 here in the third quarter. It's 21-16, getting more and more interesting by the minute. .609 remaining in this third quarter, and Kyle Wiley has just come through big time for the old Kern High Network crew.
Brian Feaster.
All right, let's see how your diets are going after this.
Oh, it's going bad. When you're cold and hungry, it doesn't matter, right?
Here we go, 21-16. Shafter will kick off. And
kickoff goes out of bounds.
I had said that Marco Rodriguez had been perfect tonight until that moment. He kicked it out of bounds, and so pretty good field position. Opportunity for the Firebaugh Eagles, scores 21-16. Man, I don't think I'm going to hear from Kyle for a few minutes. Where you been? Kevin's lucky. He doesn't have to talk. Super spicy tacos. But the play-by-play and host guy, I'll eat mine on the way home, I guess.
We have timeouts coming up, so we're good to go.
So they're re-kicking.
Which we've seen Firebaugh have some pretty good returns. So they want a chance to use their playmakers and bring them up, and it's a field position game to look at. So,
well, there was offsides on the kickoff, and the ball went out of bounds. So now Shafter will kick off from their 35. And Rodriguez puts the ball Wow, at times this can be a confusing situation here. Ball's at the 35 now. So Christopher DiFrancesco has one kickoff return for a touchdown this season. And he's going to get an opportunity here at the 23. Runs into his own players, brought down up at the 39-yard line. So strong run there. 6:01 to go here in this third quarter. 21-16 Firebaugh. They haven't scored since the 6th minute of the first quarter, but they scored boom, boom, boom to make it 21-0. And Shafter's really just had to claw their way back in here.
But you know what? It's Shafter's defense, goal line defense, with that big interception that allowed them. Firebaugh had been driving with Gutierrez, high risk, style of quarterback play. Pay attention to see how they, if they start to run or start to do more play action.
They stay on the ground with Hogue. He blasts through the seam, and he has picked up a huge first down to the 40-yard line. And we have a Shafter general down with 5:54. A huge first down, and we have a general down.
Officials timeout.
So Hogue picks up the first down. Ball's at the Shafter 41-yard line.
What a burst of energy Hogue provides for them, getting right through in between the tackles, and he runs with that reckless abandon that we, kind of see some running backs run with.
Pride in doing the right thing in our communities.
Coach Perucci out there, and I still can't pick up the number yet.
It allows us the opportunity to support our great young people in the communities we serve.
Well, you talked about a timeout. This would be a time to take one, and we'll see if this young man is okay right after this. 21-16 Firebaugh.
Welcome back, everybody. That appears to be number 45, Jacob Espinoza, was the general that was down. And glad he's okay. He was able to walk off on his own accord. Two receivers to the near side right here. As Firebaugh takes over. Gutierrez hands the ball off to Hogue, who runs so reckless abandon through that hole right there, but he's kind of stopped after about a 1 or 2 yard gain. I'd like to thank Brian Feaster, athletic director extraordinaire. All of a sudden becomes Vance's favorite new athletic director. He's brought us these wonderful tacos with that cucumber sliver in there right there. It adds a nice little touch to that.
You never notice when I read off the names of the administration, I always say, whenever it's the athletic director, I always say our good friend.
Yeah, good friend. Great friend.
And tonight, our good friend, Brian Feaster, is allowing us to be feasters. Gutierrez somehow able to pick up the first down, flag on the play, and I think that's going to be on Shafter and the type of tackle that was made.
It was weird to see. They may call that a horse collar right there, but it just didn't look like that.
Quarterback keeper.
Personal foul.
Face mask.
Maybe call him a face mask right there.
Face mask against Shafter.
You know what really goes, what I've noticed about Gutierrez and, Coach DeJean, is that when they go I formation and it looks like a run, and even their play action and some tendencies, their play action is to go deep. Their play action is not the dink and dunk West Coast style offense that we see with Bill Walsh and all that. I mean, their attempt is to go deep right there. So
I'm really impressed with DeJean Kelly. He's done a fine job with a small school and a small community.
Yeah. 3
receivers on the left side. Gutierrez pitches to that side. Hogue going to try to get to the end zone himself. Oh, nice job out there.
Absolutely.
A lot of great hustle out there by Sebastian Tavares.
And Tavares did what you need to do with Hogue every time, is you have to wrap him up and hold on and not let him go anywhere, because he has a smaller stature. You can't just hit him because he'll bounce right off that. But if you wrap him up, he'll go down much easier.
And if you're Coach Kelly, one thing you love seeing is what I'm looking at, and that is Alex Aguilar standing on the sideline while that clock continues to tick off. 4:11, 4:10, 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Gutierrez looks left the entire time, fires out here, and it is caught out there by Palmer. Palmer had the first touchdown of the game.
And once again, you got to stay committed to your man and not to the ball or where you think the ball is going to be at. And that's just a tough play for a young receiver to look at. Even the pros sometimes ball hawk and try to make those interceptions, but the really good ones are the ones that know how to play the man rather than play the ball.
Stayed in bounds, 3:37 and counting, 3rd and 1. Ball is at the 7-yard line of Shafter. So the Eagles are definitely in the neighborhood. I formation. Gutierrez hands the ball off to Hogue. Hogue blasts through the hole, and that is a touchdown. No stopping Hunter Hogue.
Hunter Hogue made it look way too easy right there.
Well, it's been a long time since they've been in the end zone, and that was a very important score for Firebaugh to get back into the end zone, make it a 27-16 game. So right now a 9-point game, crucial PAT here by Campus. Here it is. The snap, the hold, the kick, it's up. And, man, talk about a big leg. Campus almost kicked it off Campus. 3:14 left here in this third quarter. 28-16. Firebaugh up on Shafter. KernHighNetwork.com. Back right after this. Point lead for the Eagles. Firebaugh up 28-16. 3:14 to go here in the third.
So Shafter has to respond right here, get some points back on the board. But now, if in the first half, preventing the long play was Perucci's strategy on defense after that first 6 minutes, their strategy now is how are we going to prevent Hunter Hogue from wreaking havoc in there.
Oh, and the ball is fumbled. Again, just mismanagement of that football back in that open zone. I thought Aguilar might just take it and take off with it.
Kickoff is covered up by
and it's scary right there. And I'll say that you got to put your best athletes out there, but you got your quarterback out there just.
I'll tell you what, Fernando Campa has really shown some skill with that foot. I mean, when they've needed a pitching wedge, it's a wedge. When they've needed an 8-iron, it's an 8-iron. When he drops it out in that little area right there 2 times now, it's caused the Generals trouble. And I think Coach Perucci's saying the same thing. He's looking at his quarterback saying, Alex, take it. Go with it.
Yeah, and what a game. And what a game Campa has had. He's had a touchdown, a receiving touchdown. He's had that onside kick. He's had an interception. He's done a lot of things for this Firebaugh Eagles squad.
Okay, as you said it, Kyle, big moment here for the Shafter Generals. Hard count, no flags. Thought there were some people that jumped over. They didn't do it, so Firebaugh gets a break. Exactly 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Aguilar takes the snap, and they started off again with Villagran.
They got a healthy dose of Villagran, and he's done a good job at his side. Big Haas looks like he's on the ground right now.
Oh,
and
boy.
That's not good.
That's Juan Terraza.
Terraza, our Tony's Pizza player of the game against Wasco, who's been playing both sides of the ball, grabbing that left knee. That's not a good sign. Usually those big guys up front try to protect their knees and all that stuff too as well.
I want to give out a special thank you to our superintendent at the Kern High School District, Dr. Brian Schaefer. the Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, Dr. Brenda Lewis, the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services and Innovative Programs, Dr. Dean McGee, and the Director of School Support Services, Stan Green. Thank you so much for the vision, the support, and the integrated creativity that you've put forward to get this going. Appreciate it so much. And how about Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, a name synonymous with supporting our students and our student athletes and our musicians and every aspect of the high schools. Thank you so much. United States Army.
Provides free care for the life of your tires.
What a phenomenal partnership that we put together. The push-up contest, having them set up at all the games. I've ran into a couple of these soldiers, and they just love the fact that they're tapped into high school sports.
And they come out to schools, too. That's the thing. They come out to the schools, our game of the week. They do the push-up contest not only at halftime, but just to get to know our community. And, you know, I just think it's a great thing, especially as we've seen in November, these Veteran Days and all this stuff. Just awesome to see the future of our country.
Pabs Solar and Communications, thank you, Pabs. How about Premier Lighting? Also, first phone call was a yes, jumped on board last year. Raymond's Trophies, thank you, Raymond. And, of course, Tony's Pizza. The Tony's Pizza player of the game has become pretty much globally known now in Kern County for the support they've got. So I'll tell you what, we've got Juan Terraza down, and he is being looked at by quite a lot of the staff. So we'll take a break, step away for a minute here. 28-16, Firebaugh up by 12.
Chapter Automotive.
Welcome back, everybody. Juan Terraza looks like he's being helped off, and he finally gets up. I'm going to tell you this. I met Juan Terraza Shafter Wasco week. Had time to interview him. He's such a very respectful kid, articulate kid. His parents have done a great job with him. He just takes pride in his school, loves his school. His teammates love him. That's a tough loss right there. They call him Big Hoss for a reason. He's a Hoss in the weight room, and he just kind of, you know, you talk about those glue guys, those heart guys, that's exactly what he is, and that breaks my heart right there because he loves his school, loves the game, loves his teammates, and I know he wants to be out there with them.
Tony's Pizza, player of the game 2 weeks ago, Big Hoss.
Yeah.
6'2", 305.
That is a big Hoss right there. Yeah.
That is Big Hoss. How about this? Big second down, 2nd and 7. And as I mentioned, no wind, but the temperatures drop dramatically. Aguilar trying to get to the outside. Oh, nice job out there by Firebaugh. They close quickly.
Aguilar on the keeper.
And that is Fernando Campa, cornerback, wide receiver, kicker.
I'm going to tell you this. Julian Banda, number 21, their linebacker's been all over the place tonight. And he's been part of the reason they've been able to really button up and contain Aguilar right there.
Haven't called his name a lot, but he's been doing what he's forcing the issue.
Yeah.
Well, under 2 to go here in the third quarter. 3rd and 5. Ball at their own 33-yard line. Aguilar only has one back there with him. It's Villagran, and now in motion they put Avila. Avila stops to block, so good protection for Aguilar, but he flushed out of the pocket. Has a man open way downfield. Thought about it for a second. Now he's in trouble. Now he's just trying to get out of trouble, and he goes down at the 15-yard line. And he was going to try to unleash one down to Enriquez, but that would have been a 50-yard bomb on the run, and not a smart play. Went down, did not get rid of it, and as far as field position now, lost at least 25, 30 yards there.
And another linebacker who's had a great job containing number 34, Felipe Saavedra, has also done a good job. He just had the sack right there. His constant pursuit. He's had a few batted balls that we've seen of Aguilar as well, so – like I said, in both, I'll say this, in both the running game and in the passing attack, this Firebaugh Eagles defense has come ready to play.
Coach Perucci really letting Alex have it, telling him you have got to get rid of that football. Oh, they almost get the block. A low punt, and it backs up. So Now Firebaugh is going to get the ball at the 37-yard line, and to accentuate Coach Perucci's point, add 20 more yards to that the other way, and it's a different story. Now all of a sudden they've got it at the 39-yard line with 48 seconds to go in the third quarter. So
I will say there's still tons and tons of football left to be played. And 12 points is not a huge deficit. Shafter's overall played pretty well. I mean, you talk about the last probably 2.5 quarters. I mean, they have a 16-7 scoring advantage. So
Hogue hits the hole hard, kicks out to the outside, and he's flushed out of bounds.
Hand off to number 1, Hunter Hogue.
About the 36-yard line. Stops the clock. So Firebaugh.
He picked up 3 yards on that.
And they struck so quickly that they've been able to make some pretty monumental mistakes and stay in the lead.
Yeah. In some of the monumental mistakes, we talk about the high risk, high reward. What we haven't seen a whole lot is number 5, Palmer, be really involved with this game except for early on because it's been a heavy dose of number 1 right there, Hogue.
Hogue takes a big hit from Jonathan Suevas.
And I'll tell you this, Tom Richardson, number 51, has been all over the place for Shafter. Anything in between the tackles, he's usually the first point of contact, and he's had a really, really nice game.
3rd and 6. Could be the last play of this third quarter, even if they decide to run it. I don't think they're going to. Gutierrez looks over at the white hat and says, nah, we're going to let it go. 28-16 after 3 quarters. Will it be Shafter's last quarter coming up? We'll find out after this on KernHighNetwork.com. Fourth quarter action about to start. We think still some more whistles.
Looks like BHS is closing in on Central a little bit. Central's up 35-27, as you just showed me that right there. 107 left in the fourth, so curious to see how that ends up. Proud of BHS of how they fought back. We've seen them, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm glad that they finished the season off strong and with some momentum, going against a Central team that's heavily favored by a lot to win it outright. And
no Shane Jones the whole season.
Yeah, be able to make some plays. So,
all right, we had just a delay for a moment to get the markers set. 3rd and 6. Here we go. Fourth quarter about to start. Gutierrez in trouble, floats it out there. Nice job by the Shafter defense. They read that perfectly. And Rafael Zamudio had a big play out there. Gutierrez was trying to get it to Hogue on the flatlands out on the far side, but the pressure by Shafter makes it 4th and 6. So now if you're Coach Kelly, you've got a big decision to make.
You know, I'm of the opinion just Shafter really hasn't gotten anything going on offense in this second half. Big Haas is still on the bench right there. I'm in favor of just playing the field position game and pinning him deep. Still a 2-possession game, but I don't get paid the big bucks at Firebaugh to make those decisions, so let's see what happens right
3
here.
receivers out to the right side. It is thrown and caught for the first
what
down.
A big play.
Fumble. No, they're going to say he was down on the ball. Popped out after he hit it, but wow, what a gun by Gutierrez. He just fired it over there, caught out there by Rodriguez, and that's a Massive first down.
And Rodriguez,
That'll be a first down.
I mean, what a critical catch, and not only the catch, but the moxie to be able to get that first down. And he had to shed one tackle in order to get that. So Firebaugh proved me wrong. I mean, they make the decision. They have the momentum and the clock on their side now. We're going to see if they give a steady dose of Hogue right here.
The trust and confidence, Coach Kelly and Gutierrez, his quarterback. And now they are absolutely fine with running that clock down. They hand it to Hogue. And Hogue, a strong runner, gets to the 25-yard line. You see Shafter selling out, bringing everybody outside, and they went right up the middle with it. So 28-16 is the score. 12-point lead for Firebaugh. If they were to put one in here, could get pretty dire for these Generals.
But a turnover right here could be, critical for Shafter, and they're going to be digging in to hopefully have that. And this is where Firebaugh's got to take care of it, because you know that Shafter is going to be looking for those strips and all that stuff in the piles and all that stuff in order to try and cause a fumble.
Gutierrez hands off to Hogue. Hogue blasts to the middle, still up, still running. And he picks up the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line.
Looks like they picked up a first down.
You got Hogue running hard, both sides of the ball. You got Saavedra, number 34, who's had a great game defensively, and he's playing fullback, and he flies under the radar because he doesn't get the carries, but he gets the lead blocks. He's in there smash mouth, and part of what makes this Firebaugh offense so tough and demoralizing for a Shafter defense. They got to get stops right here.
1st and 10, 14-yard line. Gutierrez hands the ball off to Hogue. Hogue looking to get to the outside and gets knocked out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Flag on the play, though. Flag on the play. And it was a stretch out here to this near side. Don't know if it was a hold or if they called it. They did.
And I'll say this, if I'm Firebaugh, stick to go in between the tackles, because both teams, once they get outside the tackles, you've seen a lot of holding calls get on the edge. So how do you alleviate that? You just keep running between the tackles because it's not as prevalent.
Well, and Kyle, here's a question for you. If you're coach, by the way, it's Coach Kelly, Dejon Kelly. If you're Coach Kelly, are you in a big hurry here to
Not
score?
At all. Not all. You've seen that Gutierrez, once he gets up to the line, he just watches that clock. In the words of Berman, tick, 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 tick,
right.
tick, tick down. So
I mean, are you in a hurry to score? Or you just want to keep rolling here at a deliberate pace? Here we go. 1st and 16.
They go to that H-back, and a little bit of a
bootleg, drops the ball. He's in trouble, picks it back up. Now he's scrambling for it, throws it, and got rid of it. So had the wherewithal to get rid of that football, but you just talked about it. A turnover, costly turnover. Almost bobbled the ball, picked it back up, threw it, and
Pedro Avila with the big pursuit right there. If I'm Coach Kelly, it's 2-possession game. I'm still going to be working on how I can keep getting that ball and working that ball up the field.
You hear the Shafter cheerleaders trying to get this crowd going here. 2nd and 16, I formation. Gutierrez has Hogue the furthest one back. They hand it to Hogue. Hogue cuts across the grain, and look at this. And he's still on his feet, gets down to the 2-yard line. That'll be 1st and goal from the 2. So Hunter Hogue, as we mentioned, came in tonight with over 1,200 yards on the ground, 18 touchdowns, 243 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns, 79 tackles. So yes, Gutierrez does have 3 touchdown passes, but he's also been erratic, and he's also hoisted them up there at will. I'm thinking right now, Hunter Hogue, MVP for this Firebaugh Eagles team.
And they're doing the traditional I formation where he's a good 7 yards away from Gutierrez.
And Hogue blasts one in, unobstructed. Touchdown, Firebaugh.
Absolutely, and Hunter Hogue running it down there. He was asking to get fed, so he got the ball right there.
34-16, 9:27 to go as they prepare for this PAT. Campa will come on. It's a beauty. It's up and it's through. That'll make it 35-16 with 9:27 to go here. We'll take a quick break on KernHighNetwork.com. Shafter's going to have to dig deep, make something special happen here with under 9.5 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Thank you for coming.
Well, Kyle, we're hearing scores trickle down to us from around the valley, and do we have a Kern County team that's pulled off a victory yet?
Not yet. BHS lost a tight one to Central by 8 points, 35-27. Unfortunately, North and Bakersfield Christian lost big against their respective opponents. CVC beating North and San Joaquin Memorial trouncing all over Bakersfield Christian. Tehachapi earlier losing to Tulare Union, so it's just been kind of a bad day for Kern County, and hopefully Shafter is kind of our last resort. Still believe in them, still think that they can get it done right here, but it's going to be a tall task for them.
35-16. They're down 19, and if they want to remain the only team in Kern County to be playing next weekend, they're going to have to do something really special here. And I've been intrigued all night to see Fernando Campa's choice of club selection on the kickoffs.
I like Campa. He's one of my dark horses for Tony Pizza Player of the Game. He's had a good game.
And look at this, another onside, and he picks it up. Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Gerardo Flores picks up the onside.
Covered by 77, Gerardo Flores from Firebaugh.
We talk about Campa. I've been talking about him as club selection. He pulled out the putter. And how about this? You like to be Gerardo Flores, a sophomore lineman, getting the onside. Wow, his night's made. 1st and 10 Firebaugh, second onside kick.
And I'm going to say this, with no clock running right now, I think Firebaugh takes a shot right here, see if they can really put this game out of reach. They got nothing to lose right here. Clock's not moving. Let's see what they do, but looks like they're going to put 2 safeties over the top right there, so no big plays happen.
Gutierrez takes the snap. He wants to go to the air. You're right. Fires out in the Madlands and wide open. Oh, and a big hit on top of that.
Oh, they're going to call that.
That's a bad call. That's a bad call. He hit him clean. But
Pass complete to number 18, Miguel Garcia, but there was a bunch of flags on that play.
Two officials calling that play right there. That's a tough one.
Well,
the peel back block, they really tried to bring it back on there right there, and that's what they want to try to avoid. I know at the high school level, college levels, they try to get away from peeling back and just drilling a guy, but it looks like there's another one.
Well, now the coaching staff for, I think Coach Kelly or one of his assistants just drew some yellow because they believe it was a clean hit as well. And I'm not an official, but I will tell you my personal opinion. It looked clean. But now,
personal foul
of all things,
Yeah.
coaching staff getting hot and heavy over there for Firebaugh, and that's going to cost his team.
Yeah. It looked like a legal hard hit. Now, could they call it helmet to helmet? We don't know. Could it be hitting up high? You know, they've had emphasis on that. They'd have emphasis on these peel back blocks, trying to make the game safer. That's just a tough hit right there, but nonetheless, it's going to negate a possible touchdown that goes on right here.
Well, I think the storyline is that you were so right. Just let's go downtown one more time and finish this thing.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's concerned about anybody's feelings in this deal.
Playoff football right here, semifinals.
So 35-16, still the score, 9-17. It's 1st and 10 all over again.
Yeah.
Now Coach Perucci getting an explanation from the white hat. It's been a busy night for the officials, and it's a pressure-packed time for the officials too. Coach Perucci nodding his head in agreement. He likes the fact that the ball's all the way back over here.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Whatever the call is, I'll go with it. You got it.
He's thankful he's not sitting out his PAT block team.
Exactly.
Defense on there.
Exactly. So let's play it again, Sam. 1st and 10 from the 45. Gutierrez might go to the air again. He will. Launches one down, and this one, will it be picked off? No, and it should have been. Goes through the hands of Isaac Enriquez.
Pass incomplete.
And there is just no qualms. And what you notice about Gutierrez right there, he sees Enriquez right there.
And now
a
penalty flag, and the official threw it and looked right at Pablo De La Cruz. Pablo De La Cruz was standing right next to the official, said something, the flag went flying. Or was it Adrian Orozco? It was
A penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct against Firebaugh.
It was either Orozco or De La Cruz. So now they're actually really making some bad mistakes here, because that ball should have been picked off. It wasn't. At times, Gutierrez looks brilliant. Other times, he looks like he takes a lot of big risks.
And this field position is completely flip-flop, going from a touchdown to here. But I got to say this. I just want the end of the game to be exciting and not be penalty-ridden, because it just saps away the emotion. We've seen just maybe I'd say a handful of games like that this year, where it just drains away any emotion, takes away from sometimes the kids and all that stuff. But we want the kids to play right and do all this stuff. We just hope this game finishes off strongly.
Centennial at BHS this year.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you call that, or was that Julian? I think it was Julian. Myself, Rick Van Horn, and Julian. The third quarter lasted 4.5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
We started the game in September, finished it in October. There was a flag on almost every single play. To your point, it got to a point where, you're talking two storied programs here at Griffith Field, and it just really stalled any momentum. Either team, got something going, it just stopped them.
Even in the grand opening of Ridgeview BHS, you remember that game? That game took forever because of these. I understand emphasis and points of emphasis that people have, but I let kids play sometimes.
I just think semifinal
football. I agree.
You should
with
be past all that.
Great
Second
point.
and 25. Here we go. They stay on the ground. This time they wrap up Hogue, so nothing doing there. So nice job by the Shafter defense.
Hogue, he was brought down by Shafter's number 45.
It'll be 3rd and 27.
That'll make it 3rd and 27.
So Shafter's still in this deal. Clock ticking, 8:47 and counting. They're down 19.
They're going to have some of those miracle plays, or some of those, things go their way where the gods are smiling down on them. A turnover, a possible touchdown on defense, and they may have to do an onside coming up here. So they're going to have some things go their way, but it's still within the realm of possibility.
Gutierrez wants to go to the air, flushed out of the pocket, and a great job by the Shafter front four to hang on there. They blow the whistle, stop his progress.
Rafael Zamudio did a good job wrapping him up on the initial contact. That was a good play to stop any progress of Gutierrez going forward.
So now, clock continues to tick. We're going to go below 8 minutes right now, but Firebaugh will punt on a 4th and 27. I think they'll punt.
You hope. Or they may chuck it down the field. We don't know.
Campa, the dark horse MVP of the game.
I don't know if he's dark horse. He's just had a great game. The things he's been able to do to help his team win has been amazing.
I say dark horse because I don't think we can give it to anybody else but Hunter Hogue. And then right in line would be they come after him. He's in trouble. Campa goes down. So look at the big hustle and the big pressure up there by Tom Richardson. Richardson busted through the line, and he was taking dead aim at Campa. So Campa had to get out of the way. Shafter there for it. So they came with the block and didn't get the block. Even better. Huge loss. And now all of a sudden, Shafter, 7:25 to go. Here in the fourth quarter, 35-16 the score. They have to strike quickly and then again and then again.
I'll say this, Tom Richardson's had a great game defensively. And what he has to turn around and do, get back and play offensive guard right there. I mean, what a blue-collar football player that he gets out there and can play both linebacker and play guard out there.
Villagran, the one back next to Aguilar. Aguilar wants to throw quickly. Pump fakes. Now he comes back to the right side. What does Aguilar do? Will he throw? He better get rid of it. He does. He fires, and it is caught at the 12-yard line. So good patience.
Yep.
And he connects up there for a first down and caught out there by Rodriguez.
And those are the one things that at every level you go to the next time, quarterbacks and receivers work on in practice is comeback drills and breakaway drills. They talk about Aaron Rodgers so many times, but Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson have this just like sixth sense with each other where they can read and see what's going on. So great play right there.
Aguilar from behind throws, and it is touchdown. A catch out there by Isaac Enriquez, and I thought it was going to be picked.
Wow. Because I thought he had Avila open on the on the far sideline right there.
7 minutes to go. Firebaugh allowing Shafter to stay in this thing. 35-22, so now it's back to a 13-point ball game.
What a great throw. And
sure was, across the body.
And he's rolling left, and Coach Perucci has called that roll out to the left often tonight. So
here's the PAT. This one's up, and it is through. How about this? 35-23. This thing not over. Exactly 7 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Kern9network.com. What a barn burner. Back right after this. Exactly 7 minutes left. Shafter trails by 12. Firebaugh allowing him to stay in this thing.
Vance, I talked about those perfect plays or those miracle plays that need to take place. Some things go their way. That Tom Richardson leading of the Generals on that punt stop right there on 4th and long definitely helped set that up right there. And Aguilar, you want guys to get hot at the right moment. Is this the moment where Aguilar starts to get hot? And they do an onside. And
ball's out. It's loose. Shafter has it.
Wow.
That onside kick was recovered by Shafter. Shafter first down.
And who got it? Emilio Villagran. Villagran comes up with it. So 6:59. And if you're a Firebaugh fan, you're over there thinking, how did this happen? How in the world did we not run this clock down and grind out some more first downs?
I'll say this. Kevin Willie said we've seen a whole bunch of safeties. We've seen 3 onside kick recoveries tonight alone. And I don't think I've been in a game where we've seen one yet, have we?
And all of them have worked.
All of them have been perfect on there. So
Shafter still possibly could be the lone Kern County team to keep rolling. But, boy, they need to do something special here. Rodriguez in motion. Aguilar, the all-everything quarterback, rolls left, wants to throw, steps back into the pocket. Aguilar goes down, flag on the play, and that might even be a holding call. Aguilar runs to his left, then to his right, then to his left. A lot of times that'll put an offensive lineman in a tough spot.
And you come off a big play like that, and Firebaugh, I noticed defensively they drop back a little bit because they're probably thinking, hey, they just got a big play. They may try and take a shot. And so they kind of played this little bit of a prevent defense right there.
So costly penalty on the first play from the line of scrimmage. It'll back it up, make it 1st and
20 maybe?
23.
Yeah.
Alex Aguilar, hard count. He'll get 5 back. So it'll be 1st and 18. Encroachment.
Encroachment against Firebaugh.
And if you look, almost like we wouldn't call them 2 safeties because they're playing like a man coverage. But the inside slot receivers, mans, are playing, men are almost playing 10 yards off off of them in coverage. So if they dink and dunk their way up there, then they may be able to hit them with like a double move or do something like that as well. But playing way off them in coverage.
1st and 18. Now we have movement on the Shafter offensive line. I think we're going to get Joel Herrera moving just a little early, so they go right back again. 1st and 23, 6:27 to go in the fourth quarter. 35-23 lead for Firebaugh. It's been a very unique football game. Exciting, frustrating, exhilarating.
Confusing.
Yeah.
All of that rolled into one that we look at. We had a wide array and wide variety of emotions in this game, but
1st and 23. Aguilar flushed out of the pocket. Throws, and it is incomplete.
Pass incomplete.
Waiting for something to develop down here below us on the near side. Nothing did. And Banda talking to the officials saying, how is that not intentional grounding? Not a man near it, but Banda's not going to
look like number 18 could have justified it.
Not going to get that sold right now. 6:11 left in the fourth quarter. Again, 2nd and 23.
Two contrasting styles of quarterback. Gutierrez is going to take his shots and throw it up there. Aguilar kind of just maybe a little bit hesitant than what we've seen.
Aguilar wants to keep it himself, and that is confusing as it is. But I'll tell you what, they have a long way to go to pick up a first down, Kyle.
Yeah.
They
need to score.
Yeah.
Keeper picked up a couple yards.
So they get the onside kick, but that momentum quickly stopped with a holding call. Then they get encroachment. Then they get illegal motion. Now all of a sudden it should be 3rd and 20. Scoreboard has 2nd, but it's 3rd and 20. Aguilar fires, and it is dropped. Oh, they're going to call a penalty flag on Banda.
And I think it's going to be taunting.
It is taunting, and I don't know why Julian Banda would do that. He looks over at the sidelines and waves his fingers at the coaching staff, and the official just throws the flag and I can't believe he would do it.
Get excited. Get excited on the play, but he's got to control his emotions.
So now his teammate, Felipe Saavedra, is telling him, what on God's earth are you doing right now with 5.5 left, taunting the sidelines? Now all of a sudden.
Goes from 4th and really long to 3rd and manageable.
Yeah. And I saw him doing it. Didn't think the call would happen, but it did. If they called it on Coach Perucci for getting hot for not a timeout being called, they called it on Banda. So
it didn't look like it was
a senior with 125 tackles. Now we have more whistles. Ay, ay, ay.
They have 4th down on the sticks.
No, it's 3rd.
And they have 4th down on the board. They probably need to get that cleared up to see if it's 4th down or if it's 3rd down. If
it's probably 4th because it was after the play. It's 4th and 6. Timeout called by Firebaugh. No need to go anywhere. So the only thing we haven't seen tonight is a safety. We've seen it all. Well, in long punt return for a touchdown, or we haven't seen a kickoff or a punt return for a touchdown, but we've seen it all.
Yeah.
Along with Don Pepe's restaurant, if you haven't been in there lately, it's pretty tasty.
Well, Vance, you talked about the big week we have next week with all the things coming up. We also have coming up December 8th, and this is kind of where the Kern High Network wants to go, is at South High. We're going to have a drama performance. Antonio Garcia, who's done a lot of production stuff for us, has written and put together a play that we're going to be live streaming, and so that's kind of the future of what we're going to do is
what's the name of it?
Some of these musicals and performances and stuff too as well. I'll get you the name right here.
Looking forward to that. Kevin Willie, top shelf 5-star musician here in Kern County.
The play is called Access,
nice.
So it'll be on there December 8th.
Here it is, play of the game basically for both teams. Shafter, whistle's blowing. What's the
trying to see what that was. I don't think they had the play yet. Coming in a unique formation right down here at the bottom.
So here it is, 4th and 6, 5.5 to go here. Huge play, bunched up triplets down here below me. Aguilar fires it quickly, quick first down,
Absolutely.
A lot of real estate out there for Enriquez, and Enriquez gets the first down to the 30-yard line.
And what they did is they did this little triangle bunch down here formation where it distracted Firebaugh, and they went to the one receiver side, so maybe it's kind of used as a distraction rather than an actual go-to.
So the penalty that was called on Banda, huge. Now all of a sudden, 1st and 10, Chapter's still in this thing. Aguilar flushed out of the pocket. Now he switches up. Sees a lot of real estate. Says, I'll take it myself. Cuts back up and gets almost to the first down marker, and a big hit late. We've seen flags for everything else. I thought for sure we'd see one there, but didn't get it. So with 5:17, he stops the clock. Picked up a lot of yards. Going to be 2nd and 2 now.
Good heads-up play by Aguilar
sure was.
to get on there, but good heads-up play by the receivers that once they saw that he became a runner, they turned and became blockers. Even though one kind of got blown up a little bit, he still is getting out there and trying to block for his quarterback.
Well, the one that got blown up was Enriquez, who made the big catch the play before. 2nd and 2. Rodriguez fires, and it is going to be caught. Is it caught?
Yeah.
They say yes, it is. Ooh, no.
Ooh.
Overruled by
the back
judge. And
wow.
I think if we were to watch it again, we would see that's the right call. I believe he scooped it up off the ground.
I will say this, Aguilar's got to deliver a little bit better ball. He was pretty wide open right there, and it was a high percentage throw.
Yep.
He's got to step up and deliver that in a clutch situation. Good route. It was kind of an out and in by Avila right there.
2-down territory, 3rd and 2, and it's a big, strong run right up the middle, so they put it back in Villagran's hands. And
good.
He's picked up about 10 first downs tonight.
And I would probably say this with Shafter, they probably got about 2 minutes and 7 seconds to score, and then they set them up 3 minutes or so to kind of, hopefully, I would say in the next 2 minutes they need to get one of their 2 scores.
At least, at the very most, I should say. Aguilar throws it out here, and it's caught. Had to turn around to catch it, and that's Rodriguez. And
he didn't get out of bounds, so they got to hurry up a little bit.
Kind of had to twist and turn his body to make the catch. Didn't put him in a very good attack mode after the reception. So he did get a yard, but Coach Perucci trying to hurry everybody up and
get him on the line of scrimmage at least so they can get the ball in.
Aguilar looked over at the sidelines at the last second, throws out there. Look out! Oh, goodness gracious.
Ooh.
That could have been the ball game.
That could have. All the momentum was going that way for a big pick six.
Well, they didn't look set. They didn't look ready. They didn't look poised and in control to call that play, and a crucial play. That was 2nd and 9. So now with 4.5 to go here in the fourth quarter, 3rd and 9. Aguilar looks over at the sidelines. Looks like now that they're a bit more set up. 3 receivers way out to the far side, the left side, the Y side. Aguilar runs that way, stops, throws, and it is, oh gosh, again should have been picked off.
There's a
Flags
little bit of laundry.
Flags fly, but Aguilar's passes are causing my heart to stop beating.
Well, you know, the prior play, he's going right hash all the way to the left hash of him out, and that's a difficult throw for anybody to make, and that's kind of the NFL throw that they kind of measure it by. So, got to take care of the ball right here. 4:27 left. Still some time to get a score. They need to get it quick. They actually declined the hold right there. It's going to set up 4th down.
So Drillers have lost, Stars have lost, BCHS Christian Eagles have lost.
Tehachapi Warriors lost earlier this afternoon.
So this is the only opportunity left for the Kern County teams to stay in it with 4:27 to go, 3rd and 9. Aguilar looks back over at the sidelines. Has Villagran to his left hip. Looks left the entire side. Aguilar fires out into the end zone. It is. Oh, and it bounces right off the chest.
Ooh.
Pass incomplete.
Right off of the chest of Gerardo Lara. And that was 4th down, actually. So, oh, goodness. And Aguilar put it right on the numbers.
That'll be the Eagles' 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line.
That's a tough one. And that's sometimes what you have to do. If you notice Lara right there, he tried to, like, cradle it in rather than high point it. And what that allowed him to do, it bounced right off his shoulder pad rather than go up and get it at its highest point.
Well, the Shafter crowd just kind of in disbelief, thought they had a touchdown. And now.
Healthy dose of Hogue.
And Hogue stays in bounds, gets a couple yards.
And one thing Shafter has to really look at, Jacob Espinoza came kind of towards the end of that. They got to watch some of maybe they call late hits or things like that really hurt them. It's like it's going to be Shafter calling the timeout.
Coach Perucci called the timeout, and not many of the Shafter, well, some of the Shafter faithful, they've at least gone down to the fence line. They haven't hit the road yet, but this game's not over. We've seen, 3 onsides already?
Yeah, all recovered, yeah. It's seen it all. I mean, this is the first time where I haven't seen this many field goals, this many onsides. The kicking game has been very impressive. And, we're looking at a Division 5 schools really take pride in their special teams. That's the difference of the game sometimes.
I can tell you this. Hunter Hogue could run hard at D1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. 2nd and 10. It's Hogue again. He goes down about the 17-yard line, 18-yard line, and you're so right, Kyle. Things can start to get a little chippy here.
Number 1, Hunter Hogue.
It's going to be
3rd and 8.
Make it third and 7.
4:03 to go here. And Shafter takes another timeout, so Coach Perucci wanting to chew up some clock right now and stop it right now. I should say stop the clock right now. Again, want to remind everybody, next Monday night, the grand opening inaugural game, North High basketball. We call them girls and boys?
Girls and boys.
Girls and
Only
boys.
Only 2 games that night, varsity boys and girls.
And that'll be Centennial at North.
Yep.
Girls and boys game. Look forward to calling that. The next night, girls and boys game will be BHS at Ridgeview. Also, soccer, South and
Golden Valley. At South.
Out South in Spanish.
In Spanish,
And then Wednesday night, the annual Kern High School District All-Star game, all seniors volleyball at Centennial.
Yeah. 6 o'clock start on that one.
Got me working, my man.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 7. If Shafter wants another shot at it, it's going to have to happen right here. And they got too many guys on the football field. And they lined up. They had 12 men on the football field. Wow.
Coach Perucci looking for an explanation on that.
They had 12 men on the football field.
Number 2, Joshua Gutierrez on the keeper.
Tough call right there. Couldn't see if they were in traditional huddle, but if they did, they had 12 breaking that.
It's going to be 4th and 5.
Well, it came from a timeout, so I don't know if they were in a traditional huddle, but it came from a sideline timeout. So, either way, they held them, and it's going to be 4th and 6, Firebaugh. I think the Firebaugh faithful we haven't put this thing away yet.
I look down here, I see Jackson Sanchez, number 6, in a boot. I see Big Haas, Juan Terraza sitting down over here. 2 critical players for the Shafter Generals out
High
on
punt,
injury.
And it bounces sideways and then backwards. So good field position for Shafter. They'll have it at the 47-yard line, but they have only 3 minutes and 3 seconds to score at least 12 to tie the football game. So hope you're enjoying all of this on KernHighNetwork.com. I'm Vance Palm. I've got Kyle Wiley next to me, Kevin Willie on camera. Both of them sporting very, very nice Kern High Network hats. Does Cornford have one?
He does.
He does. So essentially Van Horn and I don't have it. Julian has one?
No, Julian doesn't have one yet.
Oh, really? Having some fun now. Firebaugh's got their train horn. They're letting everybody know they're still in this thing. They're looking for a finals next week. Don't know about Carruthers. Did Carruthers win? So Carruthers is up big. Looks like that's where the championship game is going to be. Flags on this play. What's that score up north? Final. Carruthers wins, so The championship game will be up there.
Delay of game against Shafter.
Don't know who's going yet. With 3:03 to go, Shafter, delay of game penalty call.
That's so tough coming off of a punt, whatever. It's just, like I said, you got back judge committed to his clock.
Aguilar throws. Caught and hit, and we're hoping that he's okay more than anything. Took a big, big hit. He's feeling it, and that's Marco Rodriguez, and he's had a whale of a football game tonight. He's done a lot for us, but he took a big, 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 big hit. I hope he's okay. Hope he's okay. And he is hurt. He is injured.
That pass was incomplete.
Incomplete, 2nd and 15. Aguilar in trouble. Runs to this side, throws, and it is dropped. Dropped, should have been caught. Jesus Ibarra dropped it, so now we're seeing some drop passes. And we're making sure Marco Rodriguez is okay.
You know, one of their best athletes, that was number 5, Tyler Palmer, with that hit. But, I mean, we really hope that Marco Rodriguez is okay.
And they're going to help him over to the trainer's table. He took a really, really big hit. And they're rushing over to get the table. Actually, they're running to get. Here's a first down pass, we think, up to about the 37-yard line. So all of a sudden it's 4th and 2, 2.5 left here in the fourth quarter. But far more concerned about Marco Rodriguez. Aguilar throws, fires, and it is dropped. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Isaac Enriquez. And for all intents and purposes now, we are looking at possibly a Firebaugh team if they can have their wits about them and run this thing out and not try to throw long bombs. This thing probably should be over, but they're going to bring the ambulance out because Marco Rodriguez took a punishing blow, and he has not been able to stand up on his own feet since that. He got up quickly to try to show his hubris and his machismo, but he is down. Down.
Palmer had a good clean hit. I'll say that. That was a good clean hit. Could have been hanging on to dry a little bit. You got the Hall ambulance that's coming up right now. It's going to take a look. So, Marco Rodriguez.
The game continues. Hogue, 40-yard line. So we've seen it all in this game, and at times it's been exhilarating, and the high points have been extremely exciting. The low points have been disappointing with sportsmanship and some tough calls. But right now we're dealing with a young man that
hope he's okay.
2nd and 7. 1:40 to go in the fourth quarter. I formation. Gutierrez to Hogue. Hogue trying to make something happen right between the tackles, and he will go down about the 42-yard line.
Hand off to one, Hunter Hogue.
I know nothing about Carruthers. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. But if it is Carruthers and Firebaugh, they got to pay attention to this Firebaugh team that comes out very physical. I know they met earlier. Carruthers did beat them early on in the season. Beat them pretty handily. But they got to get ready. This could be a different Firebaugh team.
Okay, under a minute to go. 3rd and 4. Gutierrez still has the I formation and a delay of game, but Gutierrez is saying, I'm watching the back judge give me the count. Oh, false start. They had a false start. And right now, all my attention is on Marco Rodriguez, the junior, who took a punishing hit on an attempted pass reception and was hit legally, as Kyle said, but it was no less brutal. And the ambulance is over here. They're still tending to him. Good news, he has his helmet off, his shoulder pads off, and EMT's talking to him. 35 seconds and counting. 3rd and 9. More flags fly. False start again on Firebaugh. Well, Kyle, I'm still
the way to end this season. We're at just kind of disbelief. You've talked about it. We've had no Kern County schools in there. As we look at this young man, hopefully he's going to be okay. Sometimes you get your bell rung like that. I think we've all been there before, you know what I mean, to look at it. So hopefully he's okay and everything's good.
Draw play to Hogue. Hogue cuts back up across the grain and picks up maybe a yard. And there'll be no timeouts called.
I understand why the clock is stopped. What the official's doing.
I can't imagine whatsoever. The White Hat coming to talk to Coach Perucci. Not sure why the clock stopped. They didn't pick up the first down, and
I think everyone's trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
there should be about 22 seconds or 20 seconds
left.
About
20 seconds. Coach Perucci's telling them 20 seconds up here. So Rodriguez is standing up. They start the clock, and that should be it. Can't imagine there will be any play called, and Firebaugh is going to win this thing, and they will go on to face Carruthers. Congratulations to the Eagles coaching staff. Good job, fellas. Good luck up there next week. Shafter's season comes to an end. 35-23. And great to see Marco Rodriguez back up. And he's going to join the line and shake everybody's hands. And that makes me a lot happier than I would have been. So Firebaugh comes down to Shafter and finishes off the last Kern County team that was still in it for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And we'll take one quick break, catch our breath, come back, and wrap up our football season here on KernHighNetwork.com. Well, that's it. Firebaugh moves on to face Carruthers, and it's going to be a big championship game for that Division V level. That's a good football team. There were a lot of mistakes on both sides, a lot of poor decisions on both sides, but really this Shafter community, second to none in everything they do and how they go about it, and the alma mater being performed, the Shafter Generals all lined up, and boy, it's great to have everybody around Rodriguez, making sure he's okay. Coach Perucci's done a fabulous job here this year, and more great things to come. Superstar quarterback, only a junior. A lot of the key players on that team, only juniors. Your thoughts on the game before we wrap it up?
Well, it hurts not having Jackson Sanchez in there, who's his most reliable receiver, 900 yards receiving all year. He's in a boot. He's just a sophomore, too, so he'll be back next year. I'll just say this. My thought is I thought Firebaugh was just a little bit more physical than Shafter had seen all year. Both sides of the ball, they had a great game plan on containing Alex Aguilar. It was it was relevant all night, made him uncomfortable all night, and just a tough way. Great kids out there. Got to spend some time with them at Shafter-Wasco rivalry week, so was hoping that they could come out on top. But Firebaugh, just as those 3 big plays early on was the difference of the game, I thought.
Kevin Willie, your thoughts on tonight's game and the wrap-up here?
Well, I think Kyle has it. I think starting out of the gate with those 3 touchdowns, I think it just it made Shafter just have to work that much harder to get up there, and they just seem to not have it quite gelled this time. There were some mistakes. There were some good plays, some great plays, but it just didn't seem like they had any momentum going that they could keep.
Well, I'm looking at the vision. The indelible image I'll leave is the one I'm looking at right now. Coach Perucci talking to this team, and he talked about it in a great article earlier this week in our local media that, hey, I've been there. I've been at that level with those state championship games. Some of these guys have not, but my coaching staff and I have. We will get them along with us. We will get them where we want to be. At times, this is an incredibly exciting football game and a lot of fun to watch. But for a semifinal game, there were some things that took place that kind of threw both teams out of whack. I thought Firebaugh took some really ridiculous chances late in this game. Either they're just supremely confident in what they had going, or they just were just not thinking. But overall, fun game to call, fun game to finish off our season. Again, we want to thank everybody for being involved, and I'll go ahead and read them off. Our sponsors: Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, United States Army, PAV Solar and Communications, Premier Lighting, Raymond's Trophies, and Tony's Pizza. To our superintendent, Dr. Brian Schaefer, our assistant superintendent of instruction, Dr. Brenda Lewis, the assistant superintendent of educational services and innovative programs, Dr. Dean McGee, and the director of school support services, our main man, Stan Green. For Kevin Willie, Kai Wiley, and myself, thank you for being ingrained with us in our football season. I'm getting texts tonight from people in the Czech Republic. I'm getting texts from people in Texas, people in Montana, people in Florida that are watching this because they love Kern High School sports. They love Kern High School football. What a great season it is. But we don't have a lot of time to rest. We will be back next week, Monday. Centennial at North, the opening of the new gym, girls and boys basketball. Tuesday night, BHS at Ridgeview for hoops. South hosting Golden Valley for soccer, Español solamente. And then Wednesday night, the annual Kern High School District All-Star Volleyball game for the senior ladies. That's a wrap. Have a great weekend. Everybody be safe. Good night. God bless. Good job, boys.